Hello, hello, and welcome inside Hastings Stadium here in Guelph. This is Guelph Royals baseball. Mark Perry alongside Zach. And Zach, I'm out of breath.
You've been hustling around, my good friend. Hustling a lot, I can say. So it's very understandable.
But it is the Guelph Royals and the Toronto Maple Leafs here on a beautiful, humid Saturday night. And Zach Benoit, when you take a look at these two teams, both teams lost 2 straight games. The Guelph Royals, though, a really hot month of June, hotter than the weather has been as of late, but starting to find themselves on the wrong end of some decisions as of late.
Yeah, so they're currently losers of their last 2. I mean, last 10, they've been one of the hottest teams in the CBL. They're 7-3 on the year, currently having that 5th place spot all to themselves, 12-9 record. And I think a couple of the games, especially the last game they played against Barrie, I think if things went their way, they're scoring a lot more runs. It's just, some of the hitting's gone a little bit cold, but as we've said it before, it's a long season. Anything can happen. Look at how they started 0-5 to where they are now, 12-9.
Tag Golaire making his CBL debut tonight as well, just signed by the Guelph Royals. As we take a look at the lineup very quickly for the Guelph Royals this evening. As Garrett Takamatsu will lead things off, Anthony Gilbert is at shortstop, and Tag Golaire is in that 3 spot in his CBL debut.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see Golaire make his debut here today, but right behind him you got Victor Mescai, the first baseman, Miguel Geraldo at second, Davis Nadal, Andy Leader, Matthew Ward, and Ryan Dos Santos rounding out that lineup.
Well, let's take a look on the other side, the Toronto Maple Leafs, as Yasiel Puig, off last night, gets a rest day, gets back into the lineup in the 2 spot here tonight.
Yeah, a couple more regulars in the lineup today for the Maple Leafs than there was last night. Brando LaRue leading things off, the shortstop in the 2 spot. Yasiel Puig in right. J.J. Dutton batting 3rd in center field. Marcus Connect, he'll be able to kick his feet up tonight. The designated hitter batting 4th. Dennis DeBanning out in left field batting 5th. Spencer Ross at 3rd batting 6th. Jordan Manzalay, second baseman, batting 7th. Crix Tavares, the first baseman, batting 8th, and rounding out the lineup is the catcher, Dionysius Chialtis.
Now, the Maple Leafs, we talked about the Royals, losers of 2 straight. The Toronto Maple Leafs, again, last place in the CBL standings, but, a pretty spirited matchup last night against the Barrie Baycats, despite the lopsided scoreline.
Yeah, a lot of what happened last night with the Maple Leafs, it kind of just came down to some defensive situations. In the first inning, Frankie Golko, he pitched very, very well. It was just kind of a couple of those moments where things just kind of unraveled for him. He got a big ground ball, but the infield kind of threw it away. And, that's kind of where things just kept spiraling for this Maple Leaf squad. This team, they've been playing a lot better of a brand of baseball. The thing that's kind of keeps biting them a little bit here is, one, the timely hitting and just getting that pitch, that big shutdown pitch to get out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, and I mean, for these 2 teams, pretty opposite ends of the spectrum when you think about their June record overall. I mean, you go back to May and just, what Guelph wasn't able to do and able to turn it around with a few, key introductions into their lineup. I mean, namely Anthony Gilbert, who is an all-star in the league already. Miguel Geraldo has been part of this club all season, but getting production 1 through 9 overall, I think, is the big key for the Guelph Royals. Is a guy like Matthew Ward, who is down deeper into the lineup and really showed his stuff in the game against I believe it was against Barrie on Thursday, where he gets 4 RBI, including a big 2-run home run late to tie that game.
Well, you mentioned some of the big names, Gilbert, Geraldo, Takamatsu, Mescai, even, that's been doing a lot of damage for this lineup. It kind of just seems as the season's gone on, these players have gotten more comfortable. They've gotten into a groove, and that's kind of where we sit right now. And you mentioned the signing of Tag Golaire, where it's so big because you add just another power bat to this lineup. You thought the addition of Anthony Gilbert was good? Well, adding Tag, that's even better right now. And it's, you're taking players out of the lineup, but it's still, those players are going to be having appearances throughout the year, and this lineup just gets deeper and deeper, it feels, as the months go on.
Well, we'll get more into the storylines as this night progresses. For now, we're going to go to the anthem, and when we come back, we'll have some baseball here on a Saturday night here at Hastings Stadium.
Get ready, Chatham Kent. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
An excellent job. The anthem has been sung, and we are live here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Mark Perry, Zach Benoit here with you as the Guelph Royals are getting introduced onto the field here this evening, and they will be turning to a pretty steady pitcher that they've had in their lineup the last couple of seasons in Edgar Garcia.
Yeah, Edgar Garcia, he has been a star. 2025, he was superb, a 2.83 ERA. This year, it's been a little bit of a different go for Garcia. The ERA, it's inflated, but the strikeout to walk ratio, man, oh man, how good it has been. 20 strikeouts to 5 walks and 20 in one innings third and a third of an inning. I mean, it's been tremendous stuff out of the righty. Now if he can kind of figure out how to minus out those earned runs that have been coming through, this gets a very dangerous starting pitcher.
Oh, Edgar Garcia, he knows how to find his way out of funks. It's a guy that has played at the highest level and, again, has been able to be a kind of a utility pitcher for these Guelph Royals the last couple of seasons. Came in as a starter, got put into the bullpen when that depth started to filter in later on in the season a year ago, gets put back onto the roster this season and is one of the bona fide starters here in the CBL.
The thing that interests me a lot about Edgar Garcia and what he's done this year, he has those games where things have kind of just blown up in his face against Chatham Kent, against Welland. It happened in Toronto, but also what happened in that Toronto start was he went 7 innings. All 7 of the runs he allowed were in 1 inning. Everything else was pure zeros. But the thing that opens my eyes the most is his last game against the Barrie Baycats went 6 innings, 2 runs scored, 1 earned, 8 hits, and he struck out 7 to only walking 3. So he's trending in the right direction. I think everybody on the Royals staff understands how good of a player he actually is, and it's kind of something along the lines where, he just needs to get comfortable on the mound again.
And he will, and that's exactly what we will see here tonight, in my humble opinion. The former Philadelphia Phillies player, as well as a Tampa Bay Ray, played for the Cincinnati Reds and the Minnesota Twins back in 2021 as well. 52 appearances in the major leagues for Mr. Garcia, the Dominican Republic import. And, just to go back on, we'll talk about Gullert as this game goes along, but, obviously a middle of the lineup kind of bat that's being brought in to provide a little bit of extra oomph into this Guelph Royals lineup that, trying to find a little bit more offense. The pitching has started to come into its own, but the offense, you kind of like to see a little bit more. 7th in the CBL with 136 runs scored.
Yeah, and just to put in perspective, Golaire, an 891 OPS in his final year playing for Missouri State.
Ooh. Yeah, that's nails. Well, that'll be strike 1, fouled back by Brando LaRue, the former Royal, and we are underway at 7:06. Glad to have you on here on a Saturday night. Puts that one into right field. Chasing after it is the newcomer, Gullert, and he will make the catch. And already getting into the thick of things on defense. Let's take a look at that defense for the Guelph Royals, as Gullert is in right field. DeSantos leader with him out there. Nadal, Gilbert, Geraldo, and Mascai working the infield, and Matthew Ward is in behind home plate.
Yeah, this outfield, it just gets so much more deeper with the addition of Gollard. And it'll be very exciting to see what he can do with the bat.
Well, here is a man that a lot of people came to see here tonight, Yasiel Puig. And first pitch, he turns on, puts it into right field, a base hit. And what I really like about that right there from Yasiel Puig, everybody expects him to hit the home run. Just put it over fences all across the Canadian Baseball League. But you see that approach there, squares up his swing and just looking for contact.
Yeah, first pitch swinging, and not only was he looking for contact, but he breaks the bat on the first swing. So
of course he does.
A new piece of lumber for Puig in his next at bat, but starts the game off right. And I think this is what the Leafs need to be doing a little bit more of. It's something that me and Thomas West have talked about on their broadcast a lot. It's just be a little bit more aggressive in the box. Early on, we've seen both batters, they swing at the first pitch.
I would imagine that Yasiel might have seen Edgar Garcia at some point in his major league career.
Probably have crossed paths a time or two.
Maybe once or twice. Well, here is J.J. Dutton, the center fielder. That'll miss downstairs.
Dutton for the Maple Leafs has really come out of the gates running ever since joining the squad again not late in the season, but a little bit after their opening day. 321 average.
The 1-1. And that'll go across for a strike. Hudson Gagne calling the balls and strikes in behind home plate. He's the crew chief this evening. Justin Snively is over at first, and Rob Stevenson is working over at third, although you see him there in the screen right now over at second base. Here comes the 1-2. And that's going to go across for strike 3. J.J. Dutton gets punched out, and there is 2 away here in the first.
Just a really, really good job pitching there by Garcia. You change up the quadrants on J.J. Dutton. You pump one inside of the inner half for strike 1. You get it on the outside low half, strike 2, and then he goes up high with a fastball there. It's just really good job just painting the quadrants.
Well, here is Marcus Connect, a veteran here in the Canadian Baseball League, hitting .258 in the last couple of weeks. As Puig is over at first. First pitch, that one goes across for a strike, and you're seeing this from Edgar Garcia, not afraid to just get it right into the strike zone immediately, really challenging the Maple Leafs batters.
Marcus Connect had a really strong start to his season. Wasn't looking for a lot of power, but it was a lot of just getting on base, driving in runs. Went through a bit of a cold spell, and really ever since the game on June 28th against Chatham-Kent, where he went 4 for 5, it seems like it's kind of switched things in how he approaches the game. He had a pretty big at-bat last night. It was late in the ballgame against Barrie where he hit the solo shot opposite field. And it was a really good at-bat. He kind of worked where he just insided out a great fastball over the right field wall.
Dealing with some not really humid conditions per se. It feels humid, but 27 degrees, partly cloudy here at Hastings Stadium on a Saturday night, the 0-2, but Garcia is just going to put it on over to first. I don't know if Yasiel is much of a stolen base threat per se, but
I think that might have just been Garcia playing a little bit of games because he had a big smile on his face when he was getting back on the mound.
I saw the pearly whites from here. Here comes the 0-2, and that is going to do it. Couple of Ks for Edgar Garcia, and they'll strand Yasiel Puig, and you like that approach from Edgar Garcia throughout that entire top half of the first. Gives up the single to Yasiel Puig, but very good aggressive start here for Garcia.
Yeah, he's just really attacking the hitters. I think that was kind of the biggest thing that he needed to do, is just get out there and get out of the gates running for his start here.
So for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, they are going to be turning to a former pitching champion here in the Canadian Baseball League, or back in the days of the Inter-County Baseball League. That is Wilhennis Alvarado.
Yeah, Wilhennis Alvarado, he's a very, very fun pitcher to watch. It's a guy that when he's on, it's because of his slider, his off-speed pitch. But, there's times where he can't find the grip, can't figure out his control. But things as of late have started to turn around for Willie when you look at some of the numbers he's had. A couple short starts against the London Majors and Welland Jackfish. But, I mean, you go back to a game on June 7th against London. He went 6 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, and he was just missing bats there. He did a really good job just, pitching to soft contact. And you mentioned that the number where he's a former pitching champion, it was because of that off speed. That when that breaking ball is working, it is one of the best pitches in the league.
I joke with Thomas West sometimes about Wilhennis Alvarado. I think he more jokes about it is, what version of Alvarado are we going to see on a game-to-game basis? Are we going to see that pitching champion from 2023 where he had a 2.36 ERA? Or, do you see Wilhennis from the last couple of seasons where that ERA has been bumped up a little bit?
One of the biggest things with Willie has been his starts to the season. The start of the season, I think to even his standards, he would say it's not how he wants it. It always starts off a little bit rocky, but then you start to see towards the end of the year, the ERA, it's going down. It's dropped 1 run, 2 runs, and it's a drastic difference from the guy you saw at the start of the year to a guy you see at the end of the year. One of the biggest things that head coach Rob Butler was talking to me and Thomas about was the fact that they want to build Wilhennis Alvarado up more. They want to get him more innings under his belt so he can feel more comfortable here in the league.
Well, here is Garrett Takamatsu to lead things off for the Guelph Royals. And interesting to note, Ryan DeSantos is usually in this leadoff spot, but now he's in the, the faux leadoff spot in the 9-hole here tonight as Garrett Takamatsu, the only other guy really that I have seen for the Royals lead off in the lineup this season, minus DeSantos. The delivery to the plate, that one's going to miss outside for ball 1.
And I think most so the move in the lineup and just kind of the shift is there's been a little bit of struggles going around the lineup batting-wise, and, it's no diss to Dos Santos.
No.
You know the type of player that he can be. It's just the last game out, 3 strikeouts, wasn't his game in the leadoff spot, so Dino most likely just probably say, hey, you know what? Have a chance, bottom lineup, to get on base for some of these guys at the top that can drive you in. We know they can drive you in.
Yeah. I mean, notably Anthony Gilbert, who's in the leadoffs, who's in the coming up next here for the Royals. The guy just puts the bat to the baseball with very good consistency. Here's the 1-1. That's going to miss outside.
Well, Alvarado started off Takamatsu really good with a nice off speed there, and he's come back here with 2 fastballs, but it's kind of been arm side high. He's not finishing down with the pitch.
I have to sign the 2-1. That one's launched all the way back, and it is gone! Garrett Takamatsu got all of that one. He puts it into his own bullpen, and it's 1-0 Royals, just like that.
Well, I'd mentioned that Alvarado threw him a really good off speed that time. Takamatsu, he saw it from the initial start of the at-bat. He waits back on it and just drives it, and it's just such a lovely thing to see. Takamatsu, the power, it wasn't there at the start of the year. The contact was, but now the power, it's creeping back, and we know how dangerous of a bat he can be when he gets hot.
Former MVP, there's a reason why. As here is Anthony Gilbert to continue on here for the Royals. Again, 1-0 lead is Garrett Takamatsu. His 3rd home run of the season.
I mentioned at the last Tuesday game, there was a post on the Royals social media about walk-up songs, and Anthony Gilbert was probably the most interesting response to it. He comes up to Rihanna's song, Desperado. It's kind of like the slowed-down version of it. And, they said, why? And he just says, I've had it for 7 years. Why change it?
Exactly. If it's going good, why? That'll miss downstairs. Well, the walk-up songs are quite unique in the Canadian Baseball League. I've seen a whole plethora of different genres being used by different guys. Here comes the 2-1. That one is put on the ground. Ross over to first in time. Quickly, let's take a look at the defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Playing in behind Wilhennis Alvarado, Dennis DeBanning, J.J. Dutton, Yasiel Puig out in the outfield. Ross LaRue, Mandalay, and Tavares working the infield here tonight, and Chialtis is in behind home plate, catching Alvarado. And here comes the debut of Tag Golaire. His first pitch he faces in the CBL is a ball.
Well, 4 seasons playing in college. Tag batting average .291, the power, 42 home runs across his years with Missouri State.
The 1-0 is going to miss upstairs. And
I mentioned that his number, his OPS last year, or I guess this year with Missouri State, was .891. Funny enough, that was actually the lowest it's been ever there. And I mean, that just signals how good of a player he has been.
the 2-0, another one misses outside. Really taking a cautious approach is Alvarado here on the new hitter, who's got quite the family genes. The 3-0. That will be sent foul.
3-0 swinging, you know, he just wanted to do something there. First at bat in a new uniform.
Just trying to make an impact. "12 pitches in. Here comes pitch number 13 from Mandalay. Or rather from Alvarado.
Alvarado paints another fastball in the outside corner. It's kind of been the plan here, staying away from these righties.
Well, he's gotten into a 3-2 count here now. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And Tag Golaire goes down on strikes.
Again, outside with a fastball. He kind of just stayed on that outside corner. And if he can do that against the righties, he's going to have a lot of success there. But he's got to figure out the breaking ball. That's the big thing. If he can figure out the breaking ball, especially against the righties, then you can have a solid night.
Well, here is Victor Mascai. Who's been one of the hotter hitters in the Royals lineup as of late. Last couple of weeks hitting .359. Including a home run. Has driven in 5 runs since June 14th. Alvarado really taking his time, as that one's going to miss at the knees.
Mascai, last game out against Barrie, had a 10-game hit streak come to an end. He was red hot.
What you like to see out of the first baseman. A lot of depth in that first base position, as that's a strike. The fans didn't like that one all too much.
This is a team, the Guelph Royals, where the stats have just kind of continuously improved over the year. Team batting averages continue to grow, now up to .287.
The 2-1, and that's going to get through the hole. Base hit for Mascai as he tries to get a hitting streak restarted.
Really good job there, especially against a lefty. He stayed back. It looks like Alvarado was trying to come inside on him again. Mascai kept the hands in tight, and he got the barrel to the ball to drive it right back up the middle.
And just in time for the former Blue Jays farmhand, Miguel Geraldo, over at second base. And you talk about guys that have been red hot lately. Miguel Geraldo, he has been red hot.
Yeah, he has been lights out all year long. He is one of the starters in the All-Star game. A tremendous job since joining the Royals.
Holds off on that one. Good take by Geraldo as it goes in on the hands. Mascai takes the lead. Not too far off of first. And that'll go down the line. Foul.
Geraldo had a 9-game hit streak that dated from May 31st all the way to June 19th. He got that broken up in the game against Welland where he went 0 for 5, but how did he respond? Well, he proceeded to go on a 6-game hit streak after that. Or, sorry, excuse me, 5-game hit streak after that. He's just been driving in runs really all year long. It's been just tremendous stuff to watch.
It's all about short memories, as the throw over to first is definitely not in time. A guy got in there before the ball even left Alvarado's hand.
When you look at the numbers of this Royals squad, he leads them by far with RBIs, home runs. Now Takamatsu trying to close that gap a little bit now after the leadoff solo shot.
And that'll go foul. A gaggle of kids go chasing after that one. Well, you need these big guys to really come in and make an impact. The fact that Miguel Geraldo is in the 5-hole for the Royals really tells you everything you need to know about this Royals lineup.
I think if you were to ask Dino really about the lineup, he would say, no, it's not because anybody's struggling, but just because we're so deep, you can put anybody anywhere.
Chopper right to Ross. Over to first in time, and that'll do it. So the Royals get one on the board, courtesy a home run from Garrett Takamatsu. It's 1-0 as we head into the second here in Guelph.
Get ready, Chatham-Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
It's a new scorekeeping system, which is really welcome back here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. And well, you heard me talking about, yeah, it's a new system. That's what we have for our score bug here tonight is, just trying out something new. And so far, so good, it looks like.
Well, the league has been upgrading week by week.
Oh, that's a fair ball. No, it's foul. They're waving that one off as Dennis DeBanning was all the way over to first. And that is going to draw the ire of some of the Maple Leafs here. They thought that one was fair, and I thought that was fair.
Well, the big miscommunication was the home plate umpire was signaling fair. The third base umpire signaled foul. And that's what Brian Sewell is kind of arguing about here, is you had two umpires kind of signaling different things here.
And again, keep in mind, Hudson Gagne, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief, so he'll get final say on this, as all three of them will come together to have this conversation.
The unfortunate thing here, especially on the Maple Leaf side, is that if they do call this base hit, it probably will only result in a single right now, when that could very clearly have been a double for Dennis DeBanning. We know his speed that he has.
And it's like an explanation is coming here, and
they are going to call it a foul ball.
Yeah, he's gonna have to come back.
That's a very interesting play, because a play like that, it is the home plate umpire's call.
Mm-hmm.
Once the third base umpire has to turn around, that's when it becomes his call. So kind of surprised they didn't actually overturn that. But the umpires, they see better than we do from up here.
Well, and interesting, too, because Rob Stevenson is the third base umpire here tonight, and I think he was more concentrated on just trying to get out of the way of that ball. It was down the line so quick. So here we are back, and it's a 1-1 count here on Dennis DeBanning.
DeBanning, another one of those Maple Leafs who started the year off red hot, homered in back-to-back games, and then that the cold spout came. But still, it's a super young player here in the league, finding his footing, playing back in his hometown with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, 29 years of age and former Welland Jackfish, played for the Hamilton Cardinals for 3 seasons. I think 3 teams gives you the suitcase title, right? There's a swing and a miss for strike 3, and Dennis DeBanning will go down.
Garcia is just working quickly. He's in a rhythm, and he's, again, doing a really good job painting quadrants here. He started one high and inside after that foul ball was called on DeBanning, then went with a low fastball, and then an off-speed on the outside half that just had DeBanning chasing.
We'll also bring up the former Kitchener Panther, Spencer Ross. A guy that just knows how to get on base, and glad to see him back in the lineup here tonight after a scary incident last night against the Barrie Baycats, as that's going to miss outside for ball 1.
Yeah, he popped up quickly, and for the ones that didn't see, there is a clip of it. Go to Sideline Podcast on Instagram; they have it. But yeah, it was a very scary slide into the legs of Spencer Ross, but he popped up rather quickly.
Yeah.
I was there last night, and the main concern I had after the entire play was how was Spencer Ross, because he just walked away from the play. There was the benches clearing happened, and he walked away, regathered himself. Best part was Leafs still got the end.
That's going to go across for a strike. I mean, that's taking your lumps right there on a very, well, let's call a spade a spade. It was just a dirty play. And that's me saying it. The 2-1. Chopper right to Gilbert. Gets it on the hop. Over to first in time, and there's 2 away.
I was going to mention Ross had a very lengthy on-base streak come to an end last night. He was trying to get things turned around here.
Spencer Ross on base. What else is new?
Yeah, it was a very lengthy streak. I don't fully know how long.
Well, that'll bring up Jordan Mandalay, another former Kitchener Panther in this lineup, playing over at second base here tonight.
11 games. 11 game on base.
That's not bad. Chopper to second. Geraldo on the hop over to first, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Edgar Garcia as we head to the home half of the second. A pretty clean inning for Edgar Garcia as he gets 3 straight strikeouts dating back to the first and then gets a couple of groundouts.
Again, it's the job that he's doing, just commanding the zone. And this is the Edgar Garcia a lot of Royals fans are used to seeing. It's the Edgar Garcia that he knows he can be. He's just dominating lineups. And I think, the last game he had out where he went 6 innings, only gave up a few. Now you roll out against this Maple Leafs team that they're still trying to figure out their offensive woes that they've had. It's a pretty good recipe for success.
Pretty good recipe indeed. As the Royals will step up with Davis Nadal, Andy Leader, and Matthew Ward. And just notably, again, Matthew Ward had a heck of a game against the Barrie Baycats. Didn't get the win. It was a very tough, very close matchup. And I guess by CBL standards, pretty low scoring at that.
Yeah.
Still trying to recover from the football score from last night.
A couple wild scores last night. Yeah, a couple games on today that have had some crooked numbers. Hamilton and Barrie actually played, and Hamilton won that game 8-1. Welland currently up 10-1 on Chatham. And then Kitchener and Brantford. Brantford actually took that one by 4-3.
Yes, indeed. It was 4-2 at one point. Kitchener scored 1 in the 9th, and they had the tying run at second base, but they just weren't able to cash it in. As Kitchener and Brantford split the home and home. In fact, coming into today, Kitchener and Brantford played twice before in the season, a combined 70 runs.
Wow. Well, I remember I was doing scoreboard watching last night in Toronto, and I saw, 13-3. Oh, wow. You think, like, Kitchener hitting the ball out of the park like crazy. At the time I looked, no, it was 2 home runs for Brantford.
Yep. In fact, I believe it was 18 hits for the Panthers last night. 17 were singles, one double.
That's what I like to call just pass the baton.
Yeah.
Just pass the baton to the next guy. You do a job, score a run, next guy can drive in another.
And that's what they did en masse last night. But Brantford, you give them credit. They have not gone away all season long, and they're putting up some key wins against some key opponents.
Alvarado starting Nadal out here with a breaking ball, and you kind of see Nadal with a little bit of a buckle. It's just one of those pitches that if it's on, it is so hard for these lefties to make contact.
Nadal will take that one off. Looks like that one hit the arm, and he'll take first base because it just gets away from Alvarado.
Yeah, it was a similar location with the pitch. This time it just didn't have that break as the first one did. And that's the thing with Alvarado is when he's on, that breaking ball looks amazing. It's working in perfection. But the times where to the lefties, he's trying to snap it down. It just doesn't break as hard.
Well, this will set the table for Andy Leader. He's starting to get that average up again. Last couple of weeks hitting .294. Nadal takes his lead. Well, there's the pitch working to perfection there from Alvarado. I think that's what he was looking for on Nadal. Gets the sign. Chialtis throws over to first, and good glove down there by Tavares as Chialtis sent that one pretty high.
Tavares has been a very fun addition to the Maple Leafs. He has predominantly been playing first base while Chiquetto was out of the lineup for a lengthy period of time. Last night, he actually shifted over to shortstop, and I mean, his glove plays anywhere in the defense, and it's an interesting positional combination that you don't normally see.
Leader drops down the bunt, but not able to get all of it. Just get on as much as you can, however you can, says Leader there.
Well, if he was able to get that down the third baseline, it would have been very difficult for anybody to get to it, especially if you look down third, you see where Ross is playing. He's behind the base.
Well, he's not going to bunt this time. The 1-2, right to Mandalay. Over for one, over for two, and not in time as Leader will get in at first.
A little bit of a contest over there at shortstop. Brando LaRue saying that Nadal might have interfered with that play a little bit.
Yeah,
Still talking to the umpire about it.
Yeah, he's having a lengthy conversation, pretty animated at that. And now another conversation to be had.
This middle of the defense here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's been so fun to watch. You have Jordan Mandalay, who's been known for his bat, the contact ability side of things, but also his glove at shortstop. The Leafs signed Brando LaRue, and Mandalay says, I'm going to shift over to second. LaRue takes over duties at short, and it's still just tremendous defense.
Well, now the umpires are having another conversation. This is the second meeting of the minds between this trio here tonight. As again, it's that contested throw over at second base, saying that he was interfered with. And see what the decision is. And they're going to say he's out.
Yep.
Fans aren't going to like it, but the umpires reverse the call, and that is going to be a double play.
So the thing that I don't know if our cameras were able to catch was actually when the play happened, LaRue, he noted the umpire said there was interference on that play. He pointed to the dirt. The dirt, it was raining earlier in the day. The clay and everything, it is wet. You can, if you see cleat marks or slide marks or whatever, you see the evidence on the clay. And Brando LaRue, he kind of pointed to the dirt. He said, that's where he was, and this is where I was trying to make the play. So, umpire looked at that. That could have also been a factor in the call. Again, we don't know, but yeah, very interesting. We've seen one go the way of the Guelph Royals right so far, another one go the way of the Maple Leafs.
So just like that, there's two away here in the second, as that's going to miss outside for ball one here on Matthew Ward. I mean, if the evidence is there, utilize it as much as possible. Here comes the 1-0, swing and a miss. And Ward just trying to get some pop into that bat, hitting .237 all season long. And then you take a look what he's done lately, hitting .250 in the last couple weeks. The 1-1, that one's down the line, foul.
He's been one of the better RBI guys in this lineup, second on the team with 18. I mean, a lot of that goes for the 3 consecutive games where he has multi-RBIs. I mean, 3 games, I believe he has 8 RBIs in those 3 games.
And he's been consistent in this number 8 spot all season, so just trying to get some extra production out of your catcher. It's never a bad thing to have when your catcher's the one driving in some runs. And more importantly, Zach, the fact that you have your number 8 hitter getting on base more often, get some traffic on the base paths for some of your more dangerous hitters. Here comes the 2-2 from Alvarado, and that's going to go right to LaRue. Scoops it up over to first in time, and that'll do it. As the Leafs face the minimum here in the second inning, we'll be back after this. The Royals with a 1-0 lead.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the
Welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Perry, Zach Benoit here in the broadcast booth. Live in the Royals City, the Royals with a 1-0 lead on the Toronto Maple Leafs. As it'll be Tavares, Chialtis, and LaRue due up here for the Leafs as they try to tie this game. Again, the start here from Edgar Garcia going quite well, has only faced one above the minimum. That one's laced into left field. DeSantos looking for it, tracking it, and he'll make the catch.
Yeah, Dos Santos had it the entire way through. But Tavares puts another good swing on a baseball, and again, another one of those guys that has been a fun signing for the Maple Leafs.
Well, here is Dionysius Chialtis, one of the better names in the CBL.
Yeah, DC. He is a very, very energetic individual. There was a funny story about it yesterday. Thomas West for the Toronto Maple Leafs, he was setting up everything, the broadcast, and he said to me, I saw, just a man, arms wide spread, running, sprinting up the hill. And he said, well, that has to be an athlete. And sure enough, it was Dionysius Chialtis coming up to say hi and be excited that he's back here with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, played with the Leafs in 2024. He puts that one into center field, and over to make the catch is Andy Leader, who we have not seen a whole lot of in center field this season. He played regularly in center for the Kitchener Panthers in his 6 seasons there. Gets moved over to right field more regularly since coming over to the Royals, as J.D. Williams occupied that center field position. But, shows that he's got that experience and is able to take those assignments over in center field like he is tonight.
Well, if you look at it, really, all these Royals outfielders can patrol center field if you need to. I mean, they are all just so sure-handed with the glove.
Here is Brando LaRue. You talk about exciting, former Royal. Made a great play in the last inning. It swings and misses, though, for strike 2.
Well, if there's a guy that knows this ballpark better than anybody, it is Brando LaRue.
Edgar Garcia looking to finish off this inning with one pitch right here. That's fouled back. And, a whole lot of fans, particularly here in the grandstands tonight, seeing a lot of Maple Leaf fans that have made the trek down here to Hastings Stadium.
Well, take it from me. It's not that bad of a drive.
No, not at all. Just have to deal with the 401.
Thankfully, it was very light today.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that'll do it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Edgar Garcia, and he is mowing down the Leafs here after giving up that single to Yasiel Puig.
Well, he's through 3 now, and it's 23 pitches, 19 strikes to 4 balls, and a 4th strikeout. I mean, you mentioned it. He is dicing right now, and this is the Edgar Garcia a lot of Royals fans, and especially coaching staff, management, were waiting to see. They knew it was there. It was just a matter of time of when he was going to get here.
And you like to see that pitch count go way down. I mean, started off with 10 pitches in that first inning, and 13 pitches just through the last 2 innings combined.
Yeah, just tremendous stuff out of the big right-hander. You also have to feel really happy for him as well, because again, he's the last guy that wants to be struggling for this Royal squad. Somebody that's been here for a while and understands the system and whatnot, and he's probably just super happy and just full of confidence right now after the start.
The Royals here in the home half of the 3rd will send Ryan DeSantos, Garrett Takamatsu, and Anthony Gilbert to the plate. Oh, and this is the chance here for Ryan DeSantos to have that short memory. I mean, you referred to just that outing that he had against Barrie last night. These professionals, they have the ability to just have these short memories. And, Ryan DeSantos, those 3 strikeouts, going 0 for 3 last night, or rather 48 hours ago, just put it behind him and move on.
Yeah, the biggest thing with him, I was able to just chat with him a little bit about it, and she says nothing feels right now. And he is somebody that if you were able to sit down on a conversation with him, you will know. He talks about his swing. He can break it down to the smallest of T's. Mm-hmm. He is so particular about things in his swing, and he's able to figure things out very, very easily. And, when he goes through spouts like this, you're kind of scratch your head saying, this doesn't happen usually. Yeah. This is a guy that holds the record in the league for walks in a season, a guy that has been predominantly in the leadoff spot. He has high contact ability. So when these kind of spouts happen, you look at it and say, what's going on? This is not typical of number 17.
I would probably use the word cerebral maybe in that conversation. Just the way he's able to approach things, and when he is on, he is on. And he's looking to get back into the hit column here. He hasn't done that in the last couple of games.
He's probably upset about, how the last couple of games have gone, but I think he's more so upset that he actually had to miss a couple of games because he got hurt. Again, he had an Ironman streak that was well over 100 or so games.
That one's just going to go foul. He had to guess for just a moment. He didn't know if that was going to go or not and decides to take off.
And this is a fun one because these are guys that have been teammates of DeSantos for years.
Oh, wait just a minute. Now there's another conversation happening here. I don't know what the conversation is here. Maybe just blocking?
It's about, when he went for the bunt, he thought it might have made contact with him while he's out of the box. And obviously that results in an out and helps Willie. But the best part was, I think Willie wants to face Dos Santos here because he was shooing off Sewell, saying, no, let me face him. Again, this is a fun one because the battery here for the Maple Leafs, there are guys that have played for the Leafs for multiple years. Dos Santos, lifelong Maple Leaf player, first year here in Guelph. He knows this team better than anybody else.
The 0-1, that's going to go in there for a strike. It's a pride thing at the end of the day, too. You'd like to, kind of show up your former teammate.
I think the fun part here is Willie kind of threw that off speed there, got the strike, and he smiled as he's turning around.
I think he's still smiling. Here comes the 0-2. And that's going to miss outside. It's no Freddie Freeman versus Anthony Rizzo, but, here comes the 1-2. And no, it's not going to be a strike as Gialtis, he was ready to toss that one over to Spencer Ross.
Oh, man, Willie is having a timeout here. But again, that's another thing about...
Gagne didn't even move.
Yeah, that's another thing about Dos Santos is that he has such a good eye at the plate. He knows what he wants.
The 2-2. That's going to miss inside.
Seeing a pattern here with these lefties, it's a lot of off speeds going towards them. And that's what Wilhelmus Alvarado's game is. He dominates the lefties with that breaking ball. But right now, Dos Santos hanging in there.
Full count here on Dos Santos. The delivery. Tavares gets it on the hop over to first and not in time as Alvarado is unable to beat the speed of Ryan Dos Santos and he legs it out.
And again, that's another aspect of his game that is so important is the speed. And obviously when, he fouled the ball off the top of his foot, a lot of people were scared about it. Is it going to be a broken foot? How long is it going to be out? Thankfully, it was the minimum. He's back out. And, well, that sprint, that 90 feet, looked like it was pretty good.
It's pretty good indeed. As back to the top of the order we go with Garrett Takamatsu, who launched one into the Royals bullpen his last time up. That one's going to miss on the... Oh, no, that's going to catch the strike zone on the outside edge. A bit of a delayed call there from Hudson Gagne. Keeping an eye on Dos Santos, the delivery outside. And, you talk about former Maple Leafs. How about Garrett Takamatsu?
Yep. Yeah, a guy that also spent a lot of time with the Maple Leafs, but, obviously
former
that
manager, too?
Yeah, I forgot about that era. But the lineup construction here for Guelph, Dino, he's got to be loving what he did. You have a speedster in Dos Santos at 9, and now you have a guy on base.
Well, he's not on base no longer, as that one is going to get beyond the bullpen. 2 jacks for Garrett Takamatsu as he tacks on a couple of runs. It's 3-0.
Well, tack times 2. It's another glorious swing. It's just so smooth. He gets his hands through the zone so quickly, and everything is just barreled up. Watch out, CBL, because once tack gets hot, things get scary.
A 2-run bomb by Garrett Takamatsu, and that was a no-doubter right off the bat. And it's what you like to see if you're the Guelph Royals. Again, not a team that hits the long ball all too often. Again, with the dimensions here of Hastings Stadium, that makes it a little bit more difficult than in other ballparks. But when they can get going with the long ball, they don't miss.
Well, he's hit number 3 and 4 tonight. Now he's 1 behind Geraldo for team lead. And, we've talked on the broadcast the last couple of weeks, numerous about the additions that this team has had. Victor Mascai, Anthony Gilbert, Geraldo coming in this year. You got to remember the guy that's been here for 2 years now in Takamatsu. He wasn't hitting for power to start the year. It was all contact, and it was kind of that feeling of when's the power going to come? When's the home run going to come? They're coming in droves now.
Look out. as that one's going to go past Mandalay and into center field. A base hit here for Anthony Gilbert, and let that hitting streak continue for number 27.
He has been quite literally sensational. His hit streak continues, like you mentioned. The only time he hasn't recorded a hit was in his debut where he went over 4.
Unbelievable stuff. So if you add it up, that's 13 straight games with a hit. And now we're going to get a mound visit as Alvarado has run into a little bit of trouble here in the third. He's given up a pair of singles and a home run.
Well, you look at really the overall game so far, both pitchers have thrown pretty dominantly. The only player that's been able to get to Alvarado has been Takamatsu, and it's been 2 long shots over that left field wall.
As Hudson Gagne will come in to check on this conversation. That is with everybody in the infield as well. Anthony Gilbert over on first. Yasiel Puig, meantime, out in right field. He's just having a conversation with the bullpen. I mean, you got to kill time somehow.
He's having a good time.
Yeah. I still remember the game in Kitchener. Late in the game, there were a bunch of youth baseball players that were beyond the right field fence out at Jack Couch Park, and they were giving it to him. Wouldn't look at him, look at him. Yasiel turns around just on a moment, smiles at them, they scatter. And that one misses inside for ball 1 here on Tag Golaire. Just trying to have some fun here in the Canadian Baseball League is Yasiel Puig. That one misses on the outside for ball 2. Not much of a lead being taken by Anthony Gilbert.
Yeah, again, Will Hennis does a really good job keeping runners on. He has a quick move to the plate, but if he actually does have that leg kick, it's a pretty, decent pickoff move. So you got to be aware of that if you're at first.
The 2-0 popped up into foul ground, and nobody's going to get to that one. Drops into the trees in behind the dugout for the Maple Leafs. Someone's got that baseball.
Tag played in Williamsport in the MLBD League, the summer league there. He played 16 games, had 62 at-bats, 1 home run, 9 RBIs, had a 300 batting average. But really, the numbers from Missouri State, they speak for themselves.
Throw into first. Trying that backdoor play is Chialtis, and just trying to keep Gilbert true. And I mean, wherever Mr. Golaire is hit, he has made an impact, and looking to make an impact here.
Well, what's that old saying? He gets on base. His on-base percentage, 4 years, .385.
That's ridiculous. As that one's going to go down the line, and that'll be the first career CBL hit for Tag Golaire, and he's going to turn it into a stand-up double.
That's got to feel good. That was a beautiful swing as well. It was a pitch that was breaking down into his barrel, the path of his barrel, and he just laces it right down the line. Again, he's a guy that also has tons of speed, and he'll keep that baseball there. Dos Santos will go out to get it for him.
Congratulations, Tag Golaire. You are a hitter in the Canadian Baseball League, and now the Royals, still nobody out, have 2 runners in scoring position here for Victor Mascai, who's 1 for 1. And I should mention that with Golaire on the roster, you have to make room for him, as you have to here. And Alfred Vega, unfortunately, gets released by the Royals organization. We wish him all the best in his future endeavors. There's a swing and a miss.
Biggest thing about that, though, is you now have an open import spot as
Yes.
well. Golaire, a local Canadian talent. And I think, Ryan Eakin put it best. It's not every day you can add an impact bat that's a local Canadian bat to your lineup.
Well, he's already made an impact in this game. That one's foul back. Yeah, I have to think that Ryan Eakin is going to be working the phones, as will Adam Fanjoy, to try to fill that position very, very soon. Or a little guy named by the name of Franklin Torres might be on his way. Who knows?
We will see what happens.
Shrugs the shoulder, the 0-2, and that's going to get through. 1 run comes in to score. 2 runs will come in to score, and the Royals are up 5-0 as that one takes a Hastings hop right over the glove of Tavares.
Yeah, Tavares laid out for it, and, speaking, I don't know if that ball doesn't hop like that. I think he might be able to actually snag it, but also, I mentioned, it was raining earlier today. It died in that outfield grass, that ball. I think if that ball rolls easily all the way to Puig, there's a shot to get Tag at home, but, I mean, that ball dies. Tag scoring easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that kind of fooled Puig in general. It looked like he stopped there for a moment, just waiting for that ball to, get to him. And that just kind of teaches the lesson here, especially at Hastings Stadium. If it's wet, the ball's going to slow down, as that one's going to be protected by Chialtas, gets in front of that one. You don't wait for the ball to come to you. You're probably going to see Puig be a little bit more aggressive, maybe take an extra couple of steps up when that ball is coming hot and heavy towards him.
Yeah, it just takes him completely off guard, the way it just stops in the grass like that.
The 1-0 coming to Geraldo. It's going to miss on the outside. And the Royals already 5 hits in this inning and counting. And we always talk about those big innings here in the CBL making major differences in games. The Royals looking to make this one an even bigger inning. The 2-0 is going to skip right to Tavares. He'll come over and tag the bag for out number 1.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show that, the Royals currently on a 2-game losing streak. And, if you were to ask anybody in that dugout, the 2 games they lost, those are 2 games they probably feel like they could have won, that they just let get away from them.
Yeah.
And especially that game in Barrie, they were scratching and clawing what felt like the entirety of the game. You get to the 9th, and Barrie just able to scratch one last run across to walk it off. But, I mean, you need a game like this if you're the Royals. You come back home, you feel better playing here, and, you're going against a team in the Maple Leafs that have struggled a little bit to start the season.
Well, here is Davis Nadal, and the thing is, too, we're getting so much closer to the All-Star Showdown, and then a couple weeks from that, transaction deadline as well. So teams are starting to figure out where they sit here in the CBL, and the more wins you can pile up from now until then, the better. As Guelph, firmly in a playoff position, they are 4 games up on Brantford.
I think the interesting thing is now, with like the transaction deadline, like you mentioned, are we going to see any teams become those sellers, teams do all that type of stuff? Because this is, again, the first time that we've seen this. Obviously, there's been that kind of cutoff date in years prior, but to this level of extent, I don't think we have, because majority of teams have made playoffs.
Yep, and you think about some teams in years past where, the old adage of the IBL was, it's a 42-game preseason schedule before you get into the real dance with how many teams make it into the playoffs. As long as you get there, minus Brantford the last couple of seasons, as long as you get into the dance,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. You can
get hot at the right time.
Yep.
I mean, we saw that a couple of years with a couple of teams. They just got hot and played really good baseball through the playoffs.
Nadal cues it on over to Mandalay, over to first in time. That'll push Maskai over to third, but there's 2 away for Andy Leader. And you think about the Royals, I mean, last season they were a 6 seed going into the postseason, and they make it to the semifinal, lose in 5 games to the Welland Jackfish, but most notably really just played good situational baseball in that first round series against London, who had a really hot start to the year, but really tailed off as that season went along.
It's very scary when you look at the top teams in the league this year.
Leader puts a charge into that one. That one's going to get all the way to the fence, deep in left field. One run's going to come in to score, and Andy Leader's got a 2-out, 1-run double.
Alvarado was cruising really to start this ball game. It was the one error to Takamatsu, and then, here in this third inning, it was Takamatsu that took him for a ride, and that's when the wheels kind of started falling off here.
Oh, and just like this is the 9th hitter of the inning for the Guelph Royals, Matthew Ward. He was retired on the ground out to end the last inning. He would like to keep this inning going, and he'll take strike one. Yeah, a lot of teams doing some damage this season. I mean, London and Barrie at the top of the heap. Nobody had Welland in 4th place at this juncture. At 9 losses on the year, as that one's going to be fouled back.
With how the offseason went for the Guelph Royals, nobody expected the Royals to be where they were. They thought they were going to be contesting with teams like Welland, like London at the top.
Well, it was a tough start. I mean, you go 0-5 and you start thinking to yourselves, okay, does it get any better? Is it going to get better? And they stuck with it. And it did get better. And it just goes to show you how you can get into a playoff position out of nowhere, as that one's going to get away from Chialtis. A wild, wild pitch from Wilhennis Alvarado is going to push Andy Leader over to third.
Well, when you look at kind of the lay of the land here for the league, the preseason ranking kind of had these teams where they are right now, but I mean, it's been pretty impressive seasons for each team at different moments. I think Brantford has opened a lot of eyes. A lot of people haven't expected, the Red Sox to do what they've done this season. The Kitchener Panthers, they started out the season red hot. Things kind of fell off a little bit. They've seemed to be starting to pick things up a little.
Like the 1-2, that one's popped up. J.J. Dutton tracking it down in center field, and he will make the catch. A lot of hard contact by the Guelph Royals in this inning, and they are able to cash in 5 on the board. They are up 6-0 here on the Maple Leafs as we head to break.
What I like about my Rollins glove is really just the quality of it. Every year I get a glove, man, I know it's going to be made the right way. It's going to last me all year. Besides that, the colors, man, you get to have a little fun with it.
What I like about Rollins glove first and foremost is the quality.
It's got to be like an extension of my hand and very flexible and have a deep pocket and, ready for diving and anything that comes my way.
What I look for in a Rawlings glove is something that's durable, it's going to last me a long time. I like the Pro Preferred. For me, I just feel like it lasts longer.
I'd probably just do this whole color scheme right here. I'm going to wait for the gold. I got to get gold glove before I can do the gold.
As a kid growing up, whenever I'd see somebody out on the baseball field, that's all they had was a Rawlings. All I wanted to do was grow up and get a chance to be on a major league field and, have my Rawlings.
Welcome back to Hastings Stadium in Guelph. A 6 spot on the board for the Guelph Royals. They lead the Toronto Maple Leafs as Edgar Garcia comes in after a lengthy time in the dugout, and he'll have to take on Yasiel Puig to start things off here in the 4th. That'll go across for a strike.
Well, you kind of looked at each other, and Garcia's warming up, and he throws his first ball, and it goes wild, and we kind of both look at each other and we go, yep, we expected that.
Yep.
A lengthy wait, then you got to wait for everybody to run the bases as well,
That's going to go across for a strike, and Yasiel.
What a task. You got to face Yasiel Puig right out of the gate as well.
See, this is why you do the warm-up pitches. A lengthy stare down by Edgar Garcia. That one's put high and deep. It's got distance all the way back, and that's going to get to the wall. Stays in the ballpark. Yasiel Puig is 2 for 2, a single and a double.
Again, it's just such an easy swing for Yasiel, where he's just able to put it really anywhere he wants.
Really just squares up to that baseball. 2 very hard hit balls by Puig in this game.
I think if he hits that more dead center, that's probably over the wall. But because, again, the dimensions of Hastings Stadium, where the corners start to tail out a little bit, that one just ends up hitting about halfway up.
Hence the home run totals for the Guelph Royals this season. First pitch seen there by J.J. Dutton is going to be strike 1. He gets a piece of it.
Well, if you're Garrett Takamatsu and a dead pull hitter, it's beautiful for you.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you're a guy who makes a living hitting it into the gaps, good luck. It's 400 basically to the corners, or to the gaps, I should say.
Well, he's a former major leaguer. Puig, he can hit those.
Oh, easily.
Absolutely. Look out, kids, in the following ballpark.
Look out, cars in the following parking lot.
Yes, indeed. Look out, homeowners on Kathleen Street. Dutton is facing a 1-1 count here as Garcia misses that last offering. The 1-1, that one's going to be flared foul.
Good battle here by J.J. Dutton. Again, he's been one of the hotter hitters in this Maple Leafs lineup, and with an opportunity to try to drive in a run here, you'd hope just to see him just kind of shorten up his swing a little bit. But tough task against Edgar Garcia.
Yes, indeed. You have to cash in at least one here. You're down 6-0. Try to swing the momentum back your own way. As Dutton just squares up to that one just enough to make contact, and he puts that one into foul ground.
But that's a smart swing, though. That's a perfect pitch by Edgar Garcia. He places exactly where he wants. It's a tough area for the batter to hit it. But if you're Dutton, all you're doing is just staying alive to see another pitch, and that's exactly what he does. Sticks the hands out, just gets the barrel to foul it off.
Try again, 1-2. Garcia likes what he sees from Ward, and he'll offer into the dirt.
These are always a fun battle if you're a pitcher and a hitter, because you don't know who's going to be the one to crack first.
Well, Edgar Garcia looks down Yasiel Puig over at second base. Puig not taking much of a lead. Now he's going to get into position as he tries to come around to open the scoring for the Maple Leafs. The 2-2 down the line, grabbed. That'll keep Puig over at second, and that'll retire Dutton. Just a good look over there from the Dull as he stared down Puig just enough. Told him, just get back, big man. Just get back.
Again, that's a great battle by Dutton, and what you want to do is try to take that the other way, but it's so tough when Edgar Garcia is just on point like he is right now.
Well, here is Marcus Connect. He struck out swinging his last time up. Garcia with 4 Ks on the evening. That was a whole lot of mustard behind that pitch for strike 1.
I've always kind of wanted to get with those pocket radar guns to kind of see
Oh,
where
yeah.
everybody's sitting, and where we are. It's kind of a perfect vantage to get the readings. Like you mentioned, that was a little bit extra behind that swing.
Well, we can have a conversation with some of the new shareholders, the owners with the Royals to maybe get one of those radar guns up here. That one's skied high into left field. No, it's going to stay in the infield actually, and Nadal will get underneath it and make the catch. 2 big outs for Edgar Garcia after giving up the leadoff double to Yasiel. Yeah, we got a Christmas list.
Pretty big list. It's pretty big Christmas list.
My mother always told me I was greedy.
What was the saying from Toy Story? Reach for the stars, shoot for the stars. What was it?
I thought it was Andy's here.
That might be it too.
There's a swing and a miss. Dennis DeBanning struck out back in the second. Garcia just putting that short memory to work. That's going to go inside for ball 1. Well, it's a 6-0 lead here, and it's really turned topsy-turvy. The Welland Jackfish with a 16-2 lead on Chatham-Kent in the top of the 7th.
A tale of 2 halves it's really been for Chatham-Kent this year.
Really has. The 1-1 gets a piece of it, but that'll be strike 2. And yeah, the start of the season felt like that they were going to be firmly in a playoff position, and yeah, they've really tailed off.
Well, the biggest thing has been that road record, 2-10 on the road.
Got to start winning some games on the road. Every team in a playoff position right now have above 500 records on the road, as that one's laced deep into left field. DeSantos has that one go over his head. Charging home is Yasiel Puig, and that is a 1-run double for Dennis DeBanning, and the Maple Leafs are on the board.
Yeah, DeBanning is a guy that is so powerful. He has such a quick swing. The bat gets through the zone. It's long but fast, if that makes any sense. He has a very long plane through the zone, but he's able to get his hands there so quickly that he gets so much power when he makes contact. And that's kind of what happened there in left field with Dos Santos, was the ball, it just kept carrying. And if you're Dos Santos, you're getting close to the wall. You're thinking, this is going to go over. And it hits right off the wall, and it's a stand-up double.
So it makes him a very effective hitter, that fast swing. And now he is on base here for Spencer Ross to try to drive him home. 6-1 the score. And you talk about home and road records, as that's going to miss downstairs for ball 1. I mean, the Maple Leafs, again, 4-15 on the season, just 1-7 away from Christie Pitts.
Yeah, it's been a little tough for them to try to get things going on the road.
The 1-0 is going to miss again. And as I said, everybody in a playoff position above 500. Contrast that, everybody out of the playoff position below 500. And by a big margin, too. I mean, Brantford's, despite the fact that they're 8-13, just 2-9 away from Arnold Anderson Stadium.
The big thing has been the away records for these teams is
Yes.
why they kind of struggle.
2 balls, 1 strike here on Ross.
In the London Majors home record, 10-2. It's light years ahead of everybody else.
Hey, I called the last loss that they had at Labatt Park. I don't think they're going to welcome me back there. And it was a shutout win. The 2-1 is going to be sent foul. It was Owen Boone burning his former team. It was an 11-0 win for the Hamilton Cardinals. And
Hamilton has been one of those interesting teams
They
for me
really
to watch
have.
this year because you see their lineup. They can do damage, but then some of the games they don't. Nothing's fully clicking.
mhm.
But then once things get rolling, they seem like one of those teams that's absolutely unstoppable.
That one's going to be put into center field, and that's going to hop on Andy later. Throws back it in, and no throw home, and Dennis DeBanning comes in to score.
DeBanning hustling the entire way through. Spencer Ross, I mean, he's been Mr. Consistent for the Maple Leafs. Does it yet again.
Another appearance on base for Mr. Ross. And you go back to Hamilton for just a moment. You think about their pitching. I mean, that's been their story all season long. I mean, Owen Boone, Francis Adamas is in there consistently as well. Starting pitching, a 2.46 ERA for the Hamilton Cardinals. By far the best.
Yeah, it's been tremendous.
As looks like Edgar Garcia is going to get a visitor on the mound and try to figure this one out. First 3 innings have gone pretty well for Edgar Garcia, but here in the 4th has given up a couple of doubles and a single and a couple of runs.
Well, if you looked at the overview season of the Toronto Maple Leafs, their offense has been fairly good. I think everyone kind of expected that with Yasiel Puig coming in. But, I mean, the supporting cast has been fairly solid. Jordan Mandalay, he just continues to be kind of Mr. Contact. Spencer Ross, consistent. Marcus Connect was hot. Dennis DeBanning, he's had a hot bat. It's been the defense and the pitching that has kind of burnt them in this season. The offense, the bats, they're there. They can just figure out their pitching woes. I mean, this team can turn around their season. We saw the Guelph Rose at the start of the year, 0-5. They couldn't figure things out. It seemed something was missing, whether it was the offense.
I think they only had
pitching.
5 runs in the first three or 4 games.
And it's just sometimes these teams, certain aspects of your game, it takes a little bit longer for it to kind of all click, and that's kind of what's going on with the Maple Leafs, it feels like.
Just looking to figure something out as here's Jordan Mandalay. Again, started last season with the Kitchener Panthers before I believe he gets released, and then now signs on with the Maple Leafs here in 2026. That one's put into right center. Golaire gets to it and makes the catch on the run. There's that defense from Tag Golaire as he goes a long way to make that grab.
Well, if that gets down, that's most likely another run and a runner in scoring position. A heads-up play there by Tag just to kind of cover a lot of ground and save this from really becoming a big gap to only a 3-run deficit.
Well, you take a look inning by inning here for Edgar Garcia. And when it comes to the pitches, we talked about it, we raved about it. 23 pitches needed to get through the first 3 innings. He's already up to, I believe, 48 at this juncture. So, a little bit of a lengthier inning there from Edgar Garcia, but still, when you think about the average, that's still 12 pitches per inning. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad whatsoever. I think the biggest thing when you're pitching, and if you're somebody that worries about a pitch count or where you're sitting at, I've always kind of looked at the aspect of see whatever 10 pitches you're in.
Yeah.
If you're at 60 pitches in the 5th inning, I still think that's a pretty solid repertoire. If you're in the 5th inning, you're sitting at around 80. That's where things get a little bit more dicey.
Yeah.
You still probably have about an inning and a half left, but it's kind of those things where you just work your pitch count. Let the defense help you. Don't be afraid to hit pitch to contact. That's what Garcia's done.
You think about this league, too, where you're not seeing as many lengthy outings out of a lot of these starters. I mean, the fact of the matter is, most starters to start the year were maybe going 4-5 innings. Now you're starting to see them get a little bit more stretched out, particularly through the late stages of June, where you're starting to see more consistent 6-inning outings, 7-inning outings. You're not seeing, what we've seen in the major leagues in the past where guys are regularly going, a full game. It seems like there is a lot of that emphasis on, having these shorter outings and then going out for different options in the bullpen.
Yeah, that's kind of how the IBL, or excuse me, the CBL is.
Put that one in the swear jar.
Yeah. First time this year. But that is kind of what the CBL was been in years prior, is just It's a team effort when it comes to pitching. How many guys do you have for this next stretch of games? You're 4 and 4. You got this amount of arms. This is how you got to utilize them. It's usually been that. Now you're seeing guys, like you said, going deeper into ball games. You can actually start planning different things of, okay, we'll pitch him first 2 days of the 4 and 4, and maybe the last day of the 4 and 4. Give him a break in between.
Well, here is Ryan DeSantos. He led off the 3rd inning with a single. Of a big inning for the Guelph Royals. Looking to add to it here. So that's going to go across for a strike. The thing is, you're also seeing situation baseball here where, again, wanting to go lefty to lefty and going righty to righty and, just maybe working the numbers and working the data a little bit more. As DeSantos now down at the count 1-2. That one's going to get over the head, and that one's going to hop on LaRue, gets it over to first, and in time, loses the elbow pad in the meantime, does DeSantos, but he's retired, 1 down.
Your designated hitter, number 4, Jared Takamatsu.
And again, we've seen it all game long. Will Hennis is just kind of attacking these lefties. That's kind of just what that at-bat was there, Dos Santos, he lays off that second pitch. He thinks it's a little bit inside. Umpire gives the benefit of the doubt to the pitcher. So obviously you gotta chase at the next one.
Well, here is Garrett Takamatsu, 2 home runs in this one. You saw that last play from LaRue. I mean, again, knowing the dimensions of Hastings Stadium, picks it up on the hop and reads the play perfectly. Speaking of, gets right to it this time, over to first in time. And just like that, there's 2 away.
This is kind of the shutdown inning that Alvarado and the Maple Leafs needed. You were able to get a couple back on the board, go out on the defensive end, get some quick outs, get back on the bats while they're hot. If you're the Guelph Royals, try to lengthen some of these at-bats out a little bit longer. We saw Dos Santos, he tried to lengthen his out, but it was about a 4-pitch at-bat. Takamatsu goes 2. I'm Gilbert here. I'm letting Alvarado come to me a little bit more. Watch a couple pitches, work a count, make him feel the pressure.
When he watches that one, it's going to paint the outside edge for a strike. Might have been a 50-50 ball if you ask me right there, but that strike zone getting a little bit stretched out there. The 0-1, that one's going to miss downstairs. Gilbert 1 for 2 with a single. He came in to score in the last inning. And that's going to go right at the knees for a strike. Chialta setting up a little bit more outside on that one, but really good ball placement there from Alvarado.
I like the at-bat so far from Gilbert. You got to understand, the peaks and valleys of a baseball game and momentum and everything. He's doing a good job.
That'll be sent down the line. Foul. Everybody ducking for cover for that baseball.
Moral of the story is when you look at baseball, it's a game of momentum, obviously. It's a chess match. I move my piece here. Your king will attack me here. And that's kind of just how it is. And, in this instance, this is exactly what you want to do if you're the Royals, trying to lengthen out the sitting against Alvarado.
The 1-2, that one's going to miss way outside.
You also let your starter rest a little bit more. Garcia had 1 inning where he sat what felt about 20 to 30 minutes. And obviously, if this inning goes a little bit south, he's sitting for maybe 5, 10.
The 2-2, that one's going to miss downstairs, and it's a full count here on Gilbert. I guess it comes into the question of, how much rest is too much rest for a starting pitcher? Or even for any pitcher.
Yeah.
Alvarado gets set. The delivery. That one's put into right field. Puig getting to it, and he will make the diving catch. Yasiel Puig finishes it off in style, and the Royals go down 1, 2, 3, and we are through 4 here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The Royals with a 6-2 lead.
Get ready, Chatham Cats. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
What I like about my Rollins glove is really just the quality of it. Every year I get a glove, man, I know it's going to be made the right way. It's going to last me all year. Besides that, the colors, man, you get to have a little fun with it.
What I like about Rawlings Club first and foremost is the quality.
It's got to be like an extension of my hand and very flexible and have a deep pocket and, ready for diving and anything that comes my way.
What I look for in a Rawlings glove is something that's durable, it's going to last me a long time. I like the Pro Preferred. For me, I just feel like it lasts longer.
I'd probably just do this whole color scheme right here. I'm gonna wait for the gold. I gotta get gold glove before I can do the gold.
As a kid growing up, whenever I'd see somebody out on the baseball field, that's all they had was a Rawlings. All I wanted to do was grow up and get a chance to be on a major league field and, have my Rawlings.
Welcome back to Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Mark Perry, Zach Benoit here in the broadcast booth, as it will be Christian Tavares due up here for the Royals. Dionysius Chialtis in behind him, and Brando LaRue are your three batters due up here in the fifth inning. The 8-9-1 hitters for the Maple Leafs, as that one skied way high. More of a Hail Mary baseball there from Edgar Garcia.
Well, I talked about last inning that Wilhelmus Alvarado, he wanted to have a quick inning if you were him. Now, if you're the Royals, is the exact same thing. If you're Garcia, you want to get back into the flow that you were in to start the ball game.
Pitch number 50 is going to go out of play as the wind is starting to pick up a little bit.
I'm so happy.
Nice breeze.
Been waiting.
Yeah, still partly cloudy, 27 degrees. Beautiful summer nights. The 1-1, that one's going to miss. Tavares 0 for 1. He flew one out to the left fielder back in the third inning. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Had a big cut on that one, but Tavares, or rather, that is not Tavares.
A little bit of a number change.
So he was number 26. He's wearing number 17 now. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, just the last second. The normal number is 26, but could have just been, bringing the uniforms up here to Guelph. One jersey got misplaced.
Wish they would tell us sometimes. Never a dull moment. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tavares goes down swing, and that is the 5th strikeout of the night for Edgar Garcia.
Again, a really good job in that at-bat, elevating, changing the eye levels of Crix Tavares.
So here is Dionysius Chialtis, the catcher. A fly out his last time up.
He had a really good welcome back moment at Christie Pitts last night, was Chialtis.
That was going to miss for ball 1.
Drove a ball through the power alley for a double off the wall.
Yeah, I like to see Chialtis in the lineup. Here comes the 1-0. That's going to go across for a strike.
This is actually the first game that the Maple Leafs don't have their mainstay backstop and Matt Brandt catching. He's been a guy that has caught basically every defensive inning this season up until last night.
That's gonna put a few miles underneath those knees. Here comes the 1-1. That one misses at the knees.
So the interesting thing was, Matt Brandt, he's been solid defensively the entire year. The bat has been the interesting part, where before the backup catcher was acquired, Chialtis, Brandt, he was struggling trying to figure out things. He had his moments. Chialtis gets announced as the signing. Matt Brandt is taken off with the bat.
It's that extra kick, right?
Yeah, you get a little bit of that competition. You think to yourself, okay, I want to start, swinging a hotter bat. Dating back to June 19th. 6-game hit streak.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Went 3 for 4 against the Welland Jackfish with 2 RBIs as well.
That one's laced high and deep into center field. Leader tracking back in front of the warning track, and he'll make the grab. So 2 away here in the 5th. And back to the top of the order for the 3rd time around. Here is Brando LaRue.
Be a big at-bat here if LaRue can get on ahead of Puig, who's already 2 for 2 on the day.
Triple and home run away from the cycle. I didn't just jinx him, did I? There's a strike. There's no such thing as a jinx.
No, not even. Last night, Wandy Cyprian was a triple shy of the cycle.
Yes, he was. Ward sets up. Here comes the 0-1. That one's fouled back right off the front facing of the grandstand, and it looked like Yasiel was looking for the ricochet.
Going for the ricochet, going for the hit. Why not?
He's hitting everything tonight. Why not? Garcia looking to get out of it here. Pitch number 62 incoming. And that one's fouled back.
Maple Leafs are currently in a stretch where they're playing 4 games in 5 days. They had a break on July 2nd, but they played the 3rd, or they played the 1st, the 3rd, the 4th, and they play again tomorrow. And tomorrow's opponent, the Barrie Bay Cats. The London Majors. The Barrie Bay Cats were last night.
Does not get any easier. Here comes the 0-2. That one's going to get through the hole. Into left field it goes, and a base hit here for LaRue.
And that's exactly the job that you wanted to do if you are Brando LaRue, especially with how Puig has been swinging to start this ball game.
Right fielder, number 66, Yasiel Puig.
So Yasiel Puig.
Again, this is a guy that's seen pitching at the highest of levels. We mentioned that Puig and Garcia could have crossed paths in the majors. Now, again, crossing paths here in the CBL. And so far, it's been Puig dominating the reunion.
2 for 2. Scored in the 4th inning. Edgar Garcia getting set up. And that's going to go on the inside edge for a strike.
Early on in the year, it was a lot of Puig, adjusting to the strike zone of CBL. It's not going to be as picture perfect as the major leagues. I think that was kind of the biggest takeaway that he's had from joining the Maple Leafs. But ever since he's gotten, acclimated to the league, it's been pretty solid.
The runner's going to go, and that's going to be fouled back by the big 6'2", 240-pounder.
Not many times, I will say, that Puig missed a ball there, but he just missed that. He's a very selective hitter, very smart hitter. And when he swings, he knows he's going to make contact. That one, he just missed the barrel.
The game of inches, that is baseball. Yasiel Puig now facing an 0-2 count. The fans starting to get loud here at Hastings. The runner's going to go. Into the dirt it goes. Throw into second. That's going to hop on the shortstop, Gilbert. Or my apologies, that's Miguel Geraldo who tried to glove that one down.
As Brando's 2nd stolen base of the year now gets himself into scoring position for Yasiel.
The Leafs now as a team 15 for 21 on stolen bases this season. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runner in scoring position now. That's going to miss downstairs. Evens the count at 2-2.
And you think whatever happens in this at bat, it's a big momentum swing for either team.
Mashes this one. It's a 2-run ball game. Get out of it. And Edgar Garcia is probably looking at another inning coming up. The runner's going to go. That one's going to go down the line. That is a fair ball. Coming around to score is LaRue, and Yasiel has another double on his ledger.
And that's just placing a ball perfectly. If you're Puig, you know, LaRue takes off. You see Nadal has no choice but to go to the bag. Puig tops the ball completely. If Nadal doesn't move, that's a routine out. But you understand the situation. You're swinging. You're trying to pull the ball once you see that third baseman move. Results in an extra 90 feet.
And that'll bring up J.J. Dutton, who is 0 for 2, and an opportunity here to try to drive Puig home here.
Man, it's been a fun battle to watch between Edgar Garcia and Puig. It's just two guys that are so smart in the game, just going against one another.
That one's put into right center field. Everybody going after it, and over to make the catch is Golaire. And he'll make the catch. The Leafs add another one onto the board. It's 6-3 Royals as we head to the home half of the 5th.
Yeah, what a half that was. The Royals continue to just dominate.
And the fact of the matter is, you know, it's still a relatively close game. Just a 6-3 scoreline. You know, anything can happen at this point as both starters, again, finding themselves in trouble. And I think that's been a common theme here tonight between Edgar Garcia and Wilhelmus Alvarado, is both of them, you know, runs are going onto the board. They're finding themselves into trouble, but they're not, you know, other than that third inning that Guelph put up 5 on the board, the pitchers are finding their way out of situations and out of danger with, you know, relative, I don't want to say ease, but relatively unscathed, if you will, you know, 1 or 2 runs here and there.
Well, you look at it, right? The kind of the rundown of how things have gone. Royals put up 5 in 1 inning. And the Maple Leafs could have easily just the next half rolled over, accepted it. They answer back with 2.
Yeah.
And then you have your pitcher come out and go 1, 2, 3. You answer back with another one, and now it's a 3-run ball game. It's a brand new ball game in a sense because they still have life. They're chipping away. It's still so early in this game.
As Alvarado is in here for the 5th inning, and this is what you like to see if you're a Maple Leaf fan, is you're getting some extra length out of Wilhelmus Alvarado here, the Venezuelan hurler. And you know, that lefty, after that third inning where he did give up the 5, that's how you rebound. You go 1, 2, 3. He gets another 1, 2, 3 here, and you know, he's at 78 pitches right now. If you can keep this, you know, maybe 12, 13 pitches at most, you're going to have an opportunity, if you're Alvarado, to go into the 6th inning.
You do that, then you can kind of leave way to the big relievers you got in Reynel DePaula and Luis Florentino.
That's going to be sent foul.
See Florentino walking down to the bullpen now. He's going to probably start stretching, just getting loose if his name gets called upon. DePaula's already back there. But you got to, again, I credit to Willie here. He's shut down this home side. They had that one big inning. That's really been it.
That one's going to skip on Chialtis. And I go back to this as well because when I think about, you know, we talk about the big inning all the time here in the Canadian Baseball League, but it feels like with the elevated score lines, you're seeing 2, sometimes 3 big innings per game, and sometimes it's just the one team doing it, as that one's going to miss for ball number 1. And you know, you get the 1 big inning here for the Guelph Royals. That's been it here so far. The Maple Leafs can do that the other way as well. If they can get a big inning, you know, they can turn the tide the other way completely. The 2-1, That one is laced. It's going to go right into the stratosphere in center field, and J.J. Dutton will get underneath it and make the catch to retire Golair.
There's a split second. I wasn't sure if Dutton was able to see it, but he was tracking it the whole way.
Whole lot of cloud cover here at Hastings Stadium, so it's not like you're, getting the ball lost in the sun by any means, but, sometimes whenever that ball comes off the bat, it fooled me. I thought that one was going to be hit a lot further away than it actually did. Now here is Victor Mascai, who's 2 for 2.
It's been a very interesting story watching Mascai throughout the season. Again, a guy that played in the WBC with Brazil, hit a home run off of maybe the longest tenured consistent player in Michael Wacha.
That's going to go across for a strike. Just painting the outside edge did Alvarado there.
Just continues good work really up and down this Royals lineup. I mean, you got to give credit to the front office in the sense that building a really strong squad top to bottom.
The 1-1. That one's put into left center. It's got distance. It's going all the way back, and right in front of the warning track is Dennis DeBanning.
DeBanning giving a little look over to Dutton, just kind of nodding his head saying, ooh, that wall got there quick.
So here is Miguel Geraldo, and I like what you mentioned there is, just the roster construction that the Guelph Royals have been able to do here this season. You think about all these years past and, having a whole lot of their, key pieces coming in later on in the season, right near the transaction deadline, going young to start. Again, with just 5 teams making the playoffs, not being able to afford to do that. Every game counts now, so a lot older of a lineup right from the hop, as that's going to miss outside for ball number 2.
Yeah, and, very, very interesting to kind of continue to monitor in a sense. So I brought this up with Max a couple games ago, and it's kind of something that I've been noticing more and more now with players from, Latin America. And, you can see it right here on your screen. Miguel Geraldo, that back pocket flipped inside out. And, I was sitting wondering, why is that? Why do they always have the one back pocket flipped out? And, it's a thing that stemmed originally, I believe it was Tony Bautista. That was the one that started it, but it was kind of their culture of, style, swag. I think they call it flappage is what they call it. But
look that one up in the dictionary.
Yeah, that's what they call it right here. And
yeah, Carlos Guillen also doing it too. So,
and it was just a sign that showed they weren't carrying chewing tobacco back in the early 2000s.
The 3-1, that one's going to be a strike as Miguel thought he was trotting on over to first.
But, if I really encourage, if you're a CBL fan watching at home, watch some of the Latin players that are in the league and kind of see, be like, oh, he has his back pocket flipped out too. Oh, he does it too. Okay. So, and it's kind of really cool to kind of look into that history of it.
Yeah.
I found myself going down a rabbit hole about it.
Well, he definitely doesn't have chewing tobacco. Not at all. Well, it's a full count with 2 out here for Miguel Geraldo. Inside out pocket and all. Here it comes, the 3-2. Chopper to LaRue. Gets it on the hop. A dart over to first and in time. Getting down is Tavares. Just in time to get his foot on the bag. And that's a 3-up, 3-down inning. After that 5 spot in the 3rd inning, Wilhenis Alvarado has retired 7 straight batters as we head to the 6th inning here in Guelph with a 6-3 lead for the home side.
Yeah, what do you recommend?
I love this color right here.
So I'm gonna do like a navy and red lace.
I like to be subtly flashy. My first glove was the Rawlings glove. This right here is kind of my baby. Took a year for her to break in. Rawlings guys hooked me up with this color. It was a new color that came out, and I was like, let me get it. I always played with a Rawlings glove. That's all I know. It was branded in my brain to play with that.
I just fell in love that it was brand new, and when you get a pro glove, you don't have to put it in the microwave, you don't have to run it over with your car. All you gotta do is use it.
If I missed the ball with this glove, it went in the microwave. That was his punishment.
He's blaming the arrow and not the Indian.
Welcome back. Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Mark Perry, Zach Benoit here with you. It is the 6th inning, and the Guelph Royals with a 6-3 lead here on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, Mark, me and you kind of went down the rabbit hole even more.
Yes, we did.
So there was a major crackdown in the major leagues about flipping your back pocket inside out. The officials were saying that, it doesn't go with the uniform. Umpires would intervene, and Yasiel Puig was famously told by an umpire during a game that he needed to fix his back pocket.
That one's going to be put foul.
So that is quite interesting.
A little bit of a connection of
to this
that is
game
really,
here.
really cool. Very cool.
I didn't see that when I was actually reading about it before.
Now I'm curious because I don't think I see that from Yasiel anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he's done it this year. Could just be a thing of when he finally decided to flip the pocket back in, he just never
went back
again. Yeah.
Might have to ask him one day. Would you go back?
Man, baseball history is fascinating.
I mean, there's a whole lot of it.
Fascinating stuff.
Edgar Garcia here against Marcus Connect. Connect is 0 for 2. He puts one high into the outfield. Everybody chasing after it. Anthony Gilbert calling him off, and he's going to make the catch in shallow left center.
Looks like there's a defensive change as well for the Royals. Ashton Patterson looks like he's taking over duties in left field, so that would mean Ryan Dos Santos' night is complete.
Yes, indeed. And that's a good bat to put in there as well. I mean, really known for his defense is Ashton Patterson, but he's been tearing the cover off the baseball this season.
It's one of those things, again, right, where you have so many talented players up and down the lineup on the bench that if you want to rest a guy, you can.
That one's going to go deep into right center this time. That's all the way back, and just in front of the wall is Andy Later, and he'll make the catch.
DeBanning put another drive into a baseball, but again, the gaps here in this ballpark, they go so far. If he straightens that out just a little bit, that's up against the wall.
And that wall came quick for Mr. Later, but he's able to make the catch, and here is Spencer Ross. Ross 1 for 2. Would you ever experiment with the inside outs and the flappage?
I don't know if I would ever do that. I don't think I'd pull it off.
That one's going to miss inside. Well, it's not really a style, not really for a style reason. Maybe it's maybe for luck. If you go on an 0 for streak, would you do it?
Maybe we give it a try.
All right. I'd go 0 and 100, and I still wouldn't do it. The 1-0 swing and a miss. I know I wouldn't be able to pull it off.
I mean, it's widely known baseball players are some of the most superstitious people in the world. So
Look,
everybody has their own little thing.
Again, I'm a little stitious, but I still wouldn't do it. And it's nothing against those who do, as that's going to go in for a strike. Edgar Garcia climbing up there in the pitch count. He's in at 76 right now. And here comes pitch number 77. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 6th K of the night for Edgar Garcia. We are through 6 as we head to the home half of the inning. The Guelph Royals still with a 6-3 lead.
Just tremendous work out of Edgar Garcia. Through 6 innings, he's at 74 pitches, 6 strikeouts. It's just tremendous work. He is really commanding the zone. This is kind of the start that he needed and really that the team needed.
Well, we will see what the Royals can do here in the home half of the inning, as they will send Davis Nadal, Andy Leader, and Matthew Ward to the plate. And it looks like we're going to get a new pitcher coming into the ballgame.
Looks like this is Graham Sim coming in the ballgame for the Maple Leafs.
And it's a different look as well. You go from the lefty to the righty, and I do like the glove. That is a nice looking glove from Graham Sim.
Graham Sim actually appeared in the game last night as well. The 6'4" Newmarket native. Pitched last night, like I did mention, an inning and a third, 2 earned runs to his name. But before that, he's had a couple of good runs. To start the year, it was just an absolute ofer. He was not giving up any runs whatsoever. He had a kind of a big blow up against Barrie. And, well, Barrie's been the only team that he's given up runs against. A total inning of 3 innings pitched against Barrie and 5 runs given up. Everybody else, shutout baseball.
Very good numbers from the Madonna University alum. He spent 2 seasons with the Crusaders. He can really tell he's 6'4" just from here.
You'll get to see it here firsthand, but the thing that he does really well, he gets great extension down the mound, and that's a big thing for a pitcher, especially if you're trying to, hide a little bit of velocity behind your fastball. The further down the mound you get, the more power you use in your legs. You can add, a tick or 2 on your fastball.
Popped up by Nadal, chasing it down is Chialtis, and he will make the catch.
DC.
One pitch, 1 out.
Yep, track that perfectly, and I will always go on the catcher rant about when you're fielding a fly ball behind. Number one thing that you always got to do, you locate the ball first, you see it, get to the spot before anything. Once you're at the spot, that's when you toss the helmet as far away as possible. You know where it is. You know you're not going to trip on your own equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Your back is squarely turned to the infield, and you'll catch the ball every single time.
And you'll like the communication as well, as that one's going to get down the line. Leader with a base hit. He's 2 for 3. But just to kind of finish the point as well, you get that communication from your teammates as well. That so while you're tracking that baseball, your teammates can help out by, say, if Chialtis is going where he disposes equipment as he's tracking that baseball down, you can have a guy like Sim come in, get that equipment out of the way, and just allow him the room, because it is tough to just keep your eyes in the sky the entire time.
Yeah, the hardest part about catching a fly ball as a catcher is just how much spin and, if there's wind, where the ball will land. That's why it is always the number one rule. Any of you kids listening at home, the number one rule is always turn your back to the field. You want your chest basically facing the stands no matter what.
Here is Matthew Ward. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's got a runner on base here, and he's facing a 1-0 count. So we're here to entertain, we're here for history lessons, and we're here to coach. That's what we do. The 1-0. Throw into second, and just gloving. That was Tavares. Oh, Nilly, he got himself a whole lot of extension there to just keep that ball from getting further into the outfield.
Yeah, DC looking down to his first baseman saying, thank you very much. And that's not the first time we've seen Tavares kind of save a play.
And he's thinking about doing it again. DC just holds off, though.
So if you haven't noticed it yet, one thing that Yasiel loves to do is he will coach throughout the field or while he's standing on base. And how you tell he's coaching is he'll be waving his arms in a certain direction. You can hear him.
Throw into second base and not in time as Andy Later's got a stolen bag, and he got a really good jump on that last offering. Well, he's got a lot of experience, does Yasiel Puig, so utilize it.
That was one of the main talking points that we had with a lot of the players for the Maple Leafs is just what is it like to just learn from a guy who's seen it all, and that's the number one thing that they talk about is just the experience that he brings, the knowledge that he brings. It opens your eyes to just a whole new ball game.
Runner in scoring position here for the Royals, up 6-3. And doesn't have to be vocal about it either. You know, a sign can do oh so much. Setting up outside is Chialtis, the 3-2. Chopper. It's a slow roller to LaRue. He gets it on the hop over to first and not in time. And now he's getting caught in a rundown. Did he go too far off the bag? The runner is going to go home and he's going to get in there safely. And that is going to allow Matthew Ward to get on over to third. Oh my goodness. That fell apart very quickly for the Maple Leafs.
Well, they are going to appeal this, I believe.
Yeah, immediately the conversation's going to happen between the umpires. And it all starts with that play down the line, right at first base. Quite honestly, from my vantage point, it felt like a 50-50 play at first, whether he got in there safely. Called safe, and then all of a sudden, Ward finds himself in a rundown.
And they're going to call Ward out.
So Ward is out. And he can't believe it. He's up in arms over at third.
But the most interesting part about the entire play is that a run came in to score.
Yes.
And now, obviously, Ward, he's out.
And now you see Mandalay really upset over at first base, talking with the umpire.
So I think Mandalay is trying to say that the umpire at first actually called time. And if that is the case, the runner can't advance. I mean, this is a play you don't normally see whatsoever.
And just the reaction immediately. You could just tell by the body language right now.
You know exactly what Mandalay is saying. He's saying that if the out was originally called, that run's not coming all the way around to score.
Absolutely.
Well, you look at the rest of the fielders. Puig is over. He is chilling with the bullpen again.
And I don't think he got what he wanted.
Yeah, I think the easiest way that he can say is that that time was never called.
And now the conversation continues between Mandalay Tavares and the first base umpire, Justin Snively. And now the conversation is going to involve the manager again. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and this is just Brian Sewell just kind of protecting his players. He doesn't want anybody getting ejected here for his side, so he's going to be the one to take it instead of the players.
So the run, they're going to count the run. That's, I think, the main thing to take from this is the run is going to count. Ward is out.
I mean, if you're a baseball fan, you understand. Like there's a reasonable reason to be frustrated about that. If you're the Maple Leaf, it's one of those plays that you don't normally see on a day-to-day baseball game. So you don't really know how to call it. But I guess you go back to the basics. If time was never called, a run's going to score.
Yep. So here is Ashton Patterson. Again, he came in on defense in the last inning for Ryan DeSantos, so he takes his usual spot in the 9-hole. And takes the first pitch ball on the outside. Wow.
So now my next question is, does that go down as an earned run on Graham Sim?
That's a good question. That's going to miss on the outside yet again.
Because the only reason the run comes into score is because of the air.
Yes.
So is it an unearned? This is going to be fascinating to see the box score after this one.
That's going to miss downstairs. I don't even think our scorekeeper's like on the up and ups on this one, because this is a tough one. We might need Google for this one. Patterson up in the count 3-1. That one's taken inside for ball 4, and Patterson's going to get on base with 2 away. I think I've seen everything. It seems like the temperature has kind of dropped a little bit over at first base.
Yeah, if you know the Maple Leafs, you know Brian Sewell. He's going to stand up for his players no matter what. I mean, he's one of those coaches where he will stand up for his guys, and he's still trying to get an explanation of just what was going on. He walked back out there.
So here is Takamatsu. First pitch he sees goes right in front of Yasiel Puig. He gets it on the 1-hop, and a big toss into the infield. Ashton Patterson gets into third, and Garrett Takamatsu continues to swing the hot bat. He's 3 for 4.
Just a really good job of hitting. He spent the first 3 at-bats just facing a lefty. Now you have Graham Sim coming in, the big righty, and it's just kind of a complete 180 of what he has to do with his approach, but this time just punches it beautifully the opposite way.
It's 2 away here for Anthony Gilbert. Here in the bottom of the 6th, and the Royals have added to their lead. They lead at 7-3. Gilbert puts one high into right field. Mandalay gets underneath it, and he'll make the catch. But 1 run comes in to score for the Royals. We are through 6 here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The Royals with a 7-3 lead. Welcome back to Hastings Stadium in Guelph. This is Royals TV. The Royals with a 7-3 lead on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Me and you are still trying to figure out what happened in the last half inning.
Well, first of all, Matthew Ward does get the ground out. That's at least takes care of that equation. But
6-3.
6-3 for those scoring at home. But for the runner to come in to score, that's what we're trying to figure out. It can't be an earned run. There's no way. The 0-1, chopper down the line, foul.
It's kind of more so a question of, do you put the air onto Tavares or onto Mandalay for the throw home? Or Tavares for throwing to second, and what it's one of those plays again. You don't see it.
Right on over to Gilbert, over to first in time. And that'll retire Mandalay. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be one of those plays where they'll show the clip, they'll erase everything on the scoreboard, and they'll show it as an umpiring school of, what do you score this? If you do, you get your card. That's going to go across for strike one.
I want you to notice Tavares' back pocket.
Oh.
So for the most part of the game on defense, he has his batting gloves in his back pocket, so pockets flip normally. When he's hitting, though,
upstairs. Flappage, I believe the term is?
That was the term.
Okay.
A lot of history.
So much history. The 1-1. That one's going to miss outside. I mean, this league alone, I mean, you date back to 1919 with the history. I don't know if flappage was a term back in the 1910s.
Most likely not.
The 2-1 upstairs. So Brandon Deans is the batter, is the pitcher now for the Guelph Royals, taking over for Edgar Garcia, who goes 6. The 3-1, chopper right to Geraldo. Gets it on the hop over to first in time.
Yeah, Deans has been pretty much spotless this season. He's had a couple of hiccups. The only real big hiccup was the game in Kitchener. We went one inning, gave up 3 earned runs. Other than that, it's been basically perfect out of the young right-hander who continues to add to his resume. Last year in the playoffs, what more can you talk about? That was kind of the coming out party for Deans. He went 6 innings, didn't give up a run, struck out 7, and he was a force in the playoffs. And, you know, he's just come into this regular season this year and kind of just carried that over.
He's got a lot of power that he generates from that big frame. You saw that on that last pitch. And, you know, again, another pitcher on this Royals roster that has been able to do all kinds of different things. He's been able to start games. He comes out of the pen quite a bit. Of course, that's where he usually comes out. Whether it's a middle reliever, whether he's come in as a closer a couple of times as well in the last couple of seasons. You know, can really pitch in all kinds of different situations, as that one misses downstairs. Dionysius Chialtis 0 for 2. He has put one to center field both times he's been up. That one misses upstairs.
Well, again, he's a young arm that has just had tons of experience in college. He played out in Oakland University, and then he came back and played in the OCAA with the Humber Hawks, where, I mean, the record just piled up. He is the OCAA record for strikeouts in a game with 19. And he broke the single-season striker record of 50, and it only took him 4 starts.
That's pretty good. A big member of that Humber Hawks team.
Pitching against the Lambton Lions, he struck out 13 consecutive batters and became the second pitcher in program history to throw a perfect game.
Well, was the MVP for that Humber team in 2023, was OCAA Pitcher of the Year in 2022, for good reason. Here's Brando LaRue. He'll take one downstairs for ball 1. He's 1 for 3.
He pitched 3 years at Humber, and he finished his career first all-time in ERA, whip, strikeouts, Ks per 7, and he did it in 55 innings of work.
Sometimes you don't need the length. If you can be impactful in the time that you're given, you can become a legend. Here comes the 2-0 to his former teammate. That one's going to be framed up nicely as Matthew Ward gets that one just above the knees for strike number 1. And he would love to get an out here and keep Yasiel Puig from hitting with runners on. The 2-1 is going to be sent out of play. Had quite the stash in college.
Oh, yeah. I'm more so just looking at the numbers. So in 2024-25 season, I remember this season vividly. He had 3 appearances. He started 2 games, won one of them, 1 complete game, 12 and a thirds innings pitched. Just didn't give up a run. Just didn't give one up.
No big deal.
Most players you see like throughout their college career, sometimes the numbers get a little bit worse, and by worse it's just, you know, he gave up 1 more run or he walked 1 more batter. Well, Dean, 7 earned runs first year, 2 in the second year, none in the third year.
That one's going to miss outside for ball 4, and there's 2 runners on here for Yasiel Puig. So a little bit of danger creeping in here for the Guelph Royals, or still up by 4.
This is going to be very interesting of an at-bat. A pitcher that dominates with his fastball for the most part against a guy who's made a career out of hitting fastballs. You got yourself a pretty big cat and mouse game going on here.
Really going to be interesting to see the approach here. Yasiel Puig, 3 for 3. Checks on the runner. Here it comes. That one's put high down the right field line. It's going to go foul, and everybody ducking for cover.
So everyone was watching the ball. Puig, the signature thing that he does at the plate, licks the bat.
That can't be healthy. Is it salty?
You can go and I don't know. You can go and ask him. But it's done it in the majors. He's done it his whole career.
Did you ever hear the trick about the trick with the Nintendo Switch game cartridges?
No.
Lick one.
Oh.
The 0-1. That one is going to go right into the catcher's mitt. But please don't lick the cartridge for a Nintendo Switch game. There's a reason why they have a distinct taste.
Oh Lord, I don't know if I even want to know this.
All I'm going to tell you is look up the stories behind it. It's been done since the Nintendo Switch launched. We did a bit on it for radio back in the day, and I made my co-host actually do it. He couldn't talk for about 30 minutes. Here comes the 0-2. That one is put into center field. Whoa, my goodness. Almost grabbed by Miguel Geraldo, but it gets just over his head. A base hit, and 1 run's going to come in to score. Oh, my goodness. Miguel Geraldo climbed the ladder and just needed an extra inch.
Well, Puig used all of his strength to get that one into the outfield. He got jammed. It was a great pitch by Deans. Inside half fastball where you get it just up the barrel a little bit, right on the hands, and Puig just muscles it over the head of a leaping Geraldo.
If Geraldo is an inch taller, that's into the glove. Again, we talk about it. Game of inches. That's going to go across for strike 1 here on J.J. Dutton, who's 0 for 3. Leafs trailing by 3 now, as Yasiel Puig is 4 for 4. Puig actually took off on that pitch. He's going to have to go back.
Got a good jump as well, and not many times we see Puig get a good jump like that.
And he's slowly trotting on over. Might have to be careful here.
He's stretching out that left leg.
Yeah. Looks like he's all right. Well, here comes the 0-2. That one's going to be fouled back. And down the line. And just to confirm, yeah, I don't see any inside-out pocket on Yasiel Puig. Actually carries the gloves in his hand. Doesn't really wear one. He was just carrying one of them. He's going to go. That one's sent into the screen.
And Dutton has no choice. He has to defend here. But it's a big spot here for the Maple Leafs. Again, they've been trailing all game long, but they've kept it close. The tying run stands at the plate.
Dutton looking for a big moment here. With runners on the corners. LaRue on third, Puig on first. He's been taken off every single time. There he goes again. And that's going to be in for strike 3. Puig didn't like it. He wanted him to make contact. And we head to the home half of the 7th. And that means it is stretch time here at Hastings Stadium. But another conversation happening at home plate.
Yeah, again, it's just Sewell just making sure his player doesn't get ejected. Dutton did not agree whatsoever with that strike 3 call. And even Puig, he had a little bit of words to say. Looks like a new pitcher into the ballgame for the Maple Leafs. It's going to be number 23, Reynaldo DePaula.
Trying to give a different look here. This the third pitcher of the ball game here for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who trail this one by 3. As the Royals will send Golaire, Mascai, and Geraldo to the dish.
Yeah, Reynaldo DePaula, he's one of those guys where he started the year off kind of wonky. He didn't really look like himself. And the big game was against the Welland Jackfish where he gave up 3 runs. But other than that, he settled himself down. He's looked really strong. He's a guy that isn't very tall. He's only 5'11", but he has a lot of velo in that arm, and he has been a very interesting acquisition for the Maple Leafs this season.
Now the rookie out of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, one of the imports on this roster. As he's going to try to take on these Royals, who again, other than that third inning, they're doing some damage. They've gotten a break or two, but still with 7 runs on the board, looking to do some more damage here. So Tag Golaire is 1 for 3 here in his CBL debut. If you're just joining us, Golaire getting signed recently by the Royals, and first pitch he sees, he's going to send it right into the dugout on the Royals side. Everybody was trying to grab that one.
Davis Nadell hopping out of the way. Geraldo had to go. I think Edgar yep, there's Garcia around the corner. He had to jump out of the way too.
0-1, swing and a miss for strike 2.
But right there, that's kind of the pitch mix for DePaula, where he'll push a fastball in the inside half. It'll come back the next pitch with a devastating off speed.
Gets the sign there from Chialtis. A 0-2 offering. That misses upstairs.
I believe he was getting clocked around 91 to 92.
See, I could use that radar gun right now.
I believe that's what it was. I know the Maple Leafs had a couple people working on, an AI-generated one, and it was actually quite accurate. They had DePaula around that range.
Well, that's a lot of velo to work with. Especially, you have that kind of velo coming out of the bullpen in the later stages of a game. This is a very clutch situation here for DePaula. The 2-2 down the line, and that is a foul ball. No, that's a fair ball. The third base umpire initially signaled foul, and then he changes his mind and signals fair. And Tag Golaire gets into second base, and this is not going to be a conversation that is too friendly, because that stopped the Toronto Maple Leafs dead in their tracks.
Yeah, really nothing that you can do there if you're Spencer Ross or DeBanning. I mean, you look first and foremost for the signal of the ump, and he throws the hands up, you stop for a second, then you immediately see him start waving fair ball. You gotta kick it into high gear again. Even Tag rounding first, he was kind of jogging, then he saw the sign, he said, "Oh, I gotta go," and takes off to go to second.
That threw everybody off, and I'll be honest, that looked fair to me anyway. But still. Here is Victor Mascai. He takes one way inside for ball one. And we'll see what the Maple Leafs can do to try to recover. The 1-0 sent high and deep into left field. DeBanning chasing after it, and just on the other side of the foul line, makes the catch, slips and falls, but he's able to record out number one.
Mentioned that the grass is wet outside, and that's really what led to that. DeBanning, thankfully for the Maple Leafs, that he was able to make the grab before slipping.
Those pants are going to go in the washer tonight, I'd imagine. So here's Miguel Geraldo. He's 0 for 3. Really dancing over at second, and that one's going to miss inside.
DePaula, again, only 5'11", but he gets to the home plate very quickly. He has a very fast leg lift and stride.
I feel like you get a lot of different guys that are like that around that size. I mean, Yadier Martinez, his teammate, really comes to mind. Not the biggest guys in the world, but can really up the velo.
Just lively arms, I think, is the biggest thing. You'll hear a lot with baseball players the terms, a flat fastball, a fastball that, has a lot of life to it. That's kind of what DePaula has. He has a fastball that has a lot of life.
It's a 2-0 count here on Geraldo. Checks on the runner. That's put into left center field, and over to make the catch is J.J. Dutton.
Defensively, it's been pretty solid all night for the Maple Leafs. Maybe one or two kind of hiccups that they've had, but for the most part, they played a very sound game. And overall, this is one of the better games I've seen the Leafs play all season long. And it's just a couple of the moments where they feel they've gone a little bit snake bitten, and that last call, especially the one down the line, comes to mind.
Oh, and that's kind of been the season in a nutshell for the Leafs. I mean, you do get a couple of the blowouts here and there, but one call goes against you one way, it goes against you another way. Things like this can add up to the record that they have.
Timely hitting, timely pitching, it's just one of those things where if it's not going right for you, it just feels like it can snowball so quickly. And you ask the Royals, start of the season, 0-5, they look a couple of those games, they look like, hey, we're going to snap this over, we're going to get back into it. Things just kept snowballing.
Here comes the 0-1. That one's fouled back. No, I think about that Royals run to start the year, and again, scoring just 4 runs in their first 3 games. I mean, 5 runs in their first 4 games before they went 0-5 in that 10-8 loss to Kitchener on May 30th. And I still remember doing that game, and Guelph putting up some runs late as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. The Royals, really came out to play in that game against Kitchener, despite going down big 10-2 in that one, and really turned it around after putting up all those runs. We'll get more into the conversation on the other side. The Royals with a 7-4 lead here in Guelph.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made the time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Welcome back to Royals TV, and just a developing story here. It's looks like an equipment issue with the new pitcher coming into the ball game, Glavin Pineda.
So initially, I thought it was going to be, sticky substance. That's kind of been a thing that the league is starting to kind of crack down on a little bit more. But it more so looks like the belt, because his belt is a little shiny. It's a little
very
sparkly.
shiny.
I think it's more so just distraction wise for the hitters, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of the going theme for pitchers.
That belt looks like it's bedazzled.
I think it's gold bedazzled. I'm pretty sure it's gold. But that's the going thing for pitchers, right? You can't wear like a white arm sleeve. You can't. There's specific things that you can't wear. It distracts the hitters.
Yeah.
Gold bedazzled shiny belt is one of those.
I gotta ask, how did he think he was going to get away with that?
Maybe he was just getting ready. He put a belt on, didn't realize which one it was. It was just his everyday belt. If it's his everyday belt, I need to know where he gets his style from.
Yes. Order a couple of them on Amazon. Maybe we can have them up here.
Exactly.
Well, I just have the clicky belt now. I don't have one of those ones where you poke the holes in. It's Canadian made, and I have not gone back. As here is Marcus Connect. Talk about Canadian made. He's 0 for 3 here tonight. That's going to miss downstairs. Well, Connect has put one in the air a couple of times, and he has also struck out. The Leafs looking to climb back into this one. There's a swing and a miss for strike two. And talk about Gleyvin Pineda from the Dominican Republic. Rookie in this league, just getting signed a couple of weeks ago, and already into his fourth appearance since making his debut on June 27th. They've been really giving him some workload. The 1-2. Did he hold off? It's going to go across anyway. Strike number 3. And there's one away here in the 8th.
Yeah, he's a fresh arm that's just trying to get some, reps here in the league. And if he can continue to throw well like he has, I don't see why not keep giving him the reps.
Absolutely. So here is Dennis DeBanning. That's going to miss on the outside for ball 1. Now Pineda, another former minor league pitcher, pitched in the LA Angels system. Actually, no, he did not. He actually started as a shortstop. He didn't transition to pitching until a couple of years ago, in fact. That's going to miss at the knees. Actually played as an infielder throughout his minor ball career. Was with Single A Burlington back in 2018 and 2019. 2 balls, no strikes here on DeBanning. That's going to go in for a strike. Good job by Ward. He actually pulled that one into the strike zone. Getting ready. It's all-star season in baseball.
Gotta love July.
That's going to miss for ball 3. That felt like a very similar position as the last pitch. Yeah, CBL All-Star Showdown coming up in Chatham, Kent next weekend. It's really come up quickly.
I believe there's 2 starters for Guelph, and then they have a couple more reserves.
I believe so, yes.
I know Gilbert and Geraldo, the midfield duo, were elected as starters.
Here comes the 3-1. That one's going to miss on the outside for ball 4. Yeah, so Gilbert and Geraldo named starters for the All-Star Showdown. Liam Watt is in as a reserve, as is Andrew Case, Victor Maskai, and Garrett Takamatsu. So 4 reserve players for the Guelph Royals. So they're sending 6 guys to Chatham, Kent. Wonder if any of them would take part in the skills competitions coming up.
Yeah, I am curious on that.
Well, it's
Takamatsu would have to for the home run derby.
I would have
or
to.
Maskai.
Yes. Well, because there's the bunting, and there's also the accuracy throwing from outfielders and catchers. You're not going to get that from catchers because Matthew Ward was not named to the roster, although we did see Garrett Takamatsu catching a couple of warm-up throws from Edgar Garcia earlier on in this game, in between innings. So maybe you throw Garrett out there and see if he can.
Why not?
See if he can get it over to second base. Here's Spencer Ross. He's 1 for 3. In on the hands. Over for 1. Over for 2. And yes, indeed, that's a double play to wrap up the inning. We head to the home half of the 8th. And the Guelph Royals with a 7-4 lead. And while we're on the topic of the All-Star game and some of those skills competitions, what would you rather do? Home run derby, bunting, or accuracy throwing from the outfield or catching?
Honestly, I That's a fantastic question now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. I don't have the power. That is very obvious. You know what? Maybe I would try the accuracy.
Yeah?
I think I would try the accuracy.
All right.
Yeah, it is a jammed pack weekend. If you haven't looked yet, the Chatham Kent Barnstormers on Instagram, they've posted the schedule for it. I mean, the festivities, they start at 12 p.m. or 12 noon, I should say.
Whole lot of music happening.
Yeah, they last all the way till 9:30. Celebrity meet and greet is happening. I'm trying to think of who the celebrities were. Blake Harding, who was a representative for the 1934 Chatham Colored All-Stars. Bill Atkinson, former Montreal Expos MLB pitcher. Ed Myers, a former Philadelphia Phillies pitcher.
Who is also the color commentator for the Chatham Kent Barnstormers.
And Todd Warner, a former NHL hockey player. So those are a couple of the celebrity meet and greets. You also have, street performers at Bullpen Band Fest. Tons and tons of things. The field actually opens at 4 on the Saturday, and it'll be open from 4 all the way till 9:30. You got the home run derby, the bunting, like you mentioned, the catching, outfield, and the skills competition introduction. And then Sunday opens at 11 a.m. and it goes all the way till 6 p.m.
Get your tickets now, as Andy Later puts one into the mid of Jordan Mandalay, and that'll be out number 1.
There's going to be a flyover as well.
Yes.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Have you ever seen a flyover before?
I've never seen one in person.
Okay.
No.
I've had one. So I went to the soccer stadium in Nashville a couple of years ago, took in a Nashville FC game. They did a flyover, as one does, but I was in a section where I actually didn't see the planes, but I can hear them.
They are loud.
Very loud. Here's Matthew Ward. He's 0 for 3, swings and misses for strike 1. It was definitely an experience. Nashville, Atlanta, they tied at 1 going into full time. The 0-1 missing upstairs. Ashton Patterson on deck. Remember, he came in the 6th for Ryan DeSantos. That'll go in for a strike.
And again, DePaula is just firing in strikes right now. He's doing a really good job of just mixing between that fastball as well as the off speed.
Just a lot of gas, and that one goes way in on Ward, and he just barely got out of the way of that one. And he needs to take a moment.
Yeah, those ones are always scary, especially as you're the hitter. It's right up in the kitchen. Obviously, no intent behind it.
No.
I mean, it's a 1-2 count. The Leafs are down. There's no intent to try and hit a batter in that situation. That was easily just a fastball he won on the inner half that just kind of got lost in the hand.
Ward's got his wits about him here now, and he's facing a 2-2 count. The fans give him a round of applause. DePaula, the 2-2, swings and misses, does Ward, and that is strike 3, and there's 2 away. That'll go in for a strike. The delivery, and that's going to be fouled off of Patterson's foot. And he's going to have to take a moment as the Royals really wearing it here.
Yeah, those ones are never fun. We've already seen one Royal go down early in their season with an injury like that, and it was Dos Santos.
DePaula gets set up. Here comes the 0-2. Skied high, and that's going to go out of play. right off the grandstand.
Touchdown.
Well, it's a touchdown and an extra point on the board here for the Guelph Royals, including 5 runs in the 3rd inning. They have held on to the lead throughout this ball game, and the Leafs looking to get back into it. That is going to help them out. A 1-2-3 inning for DePaula and the Leafs as we head to the 9th here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen.
Welcome back here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph under the lights as Kevin Escorcia comes in to try to close this one out for the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, Scorsia, he has been a revelation in the back end of the bullpen here for the Royals this season. You know, again, we talk about the work that he's done. It's been predominantly in this closer role. Really, the only damage against him that was severe was his first outing against the Welland Jackfish where he gave up 5. Other than that, it's been basically picture perfect.
And it's a great situation for him, I guess, when you look at the numbers, considering that the Leafs are sending the bottom of the order up here in the 9th, as that one's going to go foul. Mandalay 0 for 3, and I mean, combined, the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Leafs, they have gone 0 for 8 tonight. Chialtis, the only one to reach. He walked and scored back in the 7th. That one's upstairs. Looks like he got a piece of it. And now the appeal. Throw on over to first. And what is going on here? They're going to... This has been a wild night.
The ump asked for the appeal at first, and the first base umpire just shook his head and said no.
Yeah.
And nobody understood if that meant he was declining to the appeal or if he was saying no, he didn't go. Because he didn't motion with the arms.
And it's a 2-strike count, so...
It's a pretty important pitch.
Yeah. Oh, we'll try again. That one's going to miss upstairs. And again, it was just a weird one where Mandalay didn't look like he went all the way around, but it looked like that baseball did catch a piece of the bat. Here comes the 2-2. That one's laced into center field. Leader coming in, and he'll make the catch. 1 down here in the 9th. And again, credit the Maple Leafs. They've gotten base runners on the last couple of innings. They just have not been able to cash in with much regularity.
They're hitting the ball. It's just, you know, sometimes it's right at the defenders. If not, it's just they can't get that big hit. And that's, again, been the one thing that's been aching them all year long. They can't get that timely hit.
Here's Crix Tavares missing outside for ball 1. And you Heard that ball one call from the home plate umpire, Hudson Gagne, from here. Some emphasis in those lungs. Swing and a miss. Tavares has been retired all kinds of different ways. He flew out in the third, he struck out in the fifth, and he grounded out in the seventh. Escorcia gets the sign. The big lefty deals, and there's a strike as he swings underneath the baseball there.
Good shot, caught chasing with 2 high fastballs.
Escorcia looks like he might go outside for a base hit. Good job by Tavares, just sticking there for a base hit. Good job by Tavares, just sticking with it in that count, and he's able to get on.
It's really tough as well against a lefty like that.
So here is Dionysius Chialtis, reached on a walk his last time up.
It's actually going to be a substitute.
Yes.
Matt Brandt will come in to hit for Chialtis.
Well, you talked about how hot he has been lately. This perfect situation to put him in here.
Yeah, Brandt has been one of those guys that's been hitting really everything.
He watches that one go across, though, for strike one.
He was acting as first base coach for the first half of this ball game. Now he's finding himself here in a big spot.
Tavares over on first. The 0-1. That one misses down and away.
Biggest thing for the Leafs here is you just want to try to get this to Puig, who's a couple of batters away. You want to always give it to your best guy with a chance to put you ahead or win a ball game.
Looks on over at first. Escorcia the offering. That misses upstairs. And you cannot afford to get Yasiel Puig to the plate. You want to finish this game before you get to big number 66. A ground ball could end it here.
This is a very important at-bat of this game.
Apologies for any intermittent freezing that we've been seeing in the last few moments. City Internet, folks. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. That's a big out. As now there are 2 out here in the 9th. Royals looking to snap a 2-game losing skid. Toronto trying to get back into this one. They're losers of 7 of their last 8 games. Trying to avoid going 8 of 9 in the L column. That'll be sent foul. As Tavares was off on that pitch. And he's going to have to trot on back to first.
That's the right idea with Tavares. You want to just try to get out of any force out and make them force that only out at first base. Wouldn't be surprised if he went again here. Not holding him on whatsoever.
Not at all. Keeps an eye. The 0-1. That one misses upstairs.
Brian Sewell signaling, just pointing to him saying, go, go. Nobody's holding you.
Why not? Nobody's even close to second. This is as indifferent as there is, and there he goes, and that one's going to go right into the glove of Anthony Gilbert as he finishes off this ball game. The Guelph Royals back in the win column as they defeat the Toronto Maple Leafs 7-4. And Zach, this is a game where, you know, the story is that big inning in the third for the Guelph Royals where they put up a 5 spot and really just, you know, carried it on from there and held off the Maple Leafs the rest of the way.
Yeah, they really just kind of played their game. They were in control of it from early on, and Well, here tonight, they just continue and they get on the right side of the ship again. They now sit one game behind the Welland Jackfish for 4th place in the CBA.
The Guelph Royals improved to 13-9 on the season. The Toronto Maple Leafs dropped to 4-16 on the season. As we take a look at the next 5 games for the Guelph Royals, and they will be busy. 2 big games against the Jackfish coming up in the next 4 regular season games for the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, it's going to be a big stretch of games for the Royals. Just the final line score.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the game. The Guelph Royals, 7 runs, 11 hits. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 4 runs on 8 hits. Winning pitcher Edgar Garcia improves his record to 2-1, while Hennis Alvarado will get the loss. He drops to 1-2. The save actually goes to Kevin Escorcia. Got put down as Pineda, but it's Kevin Escorcia. And, yeah, they improve to a 13-9 record.
Who would have thought? After an 0-5 start, the Guelph Royals win yet again, as we will send it away for tonight here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Once again, the final score, the Guelph Royals 7, the Toronto Maple Leafs 4. We will see you back here on Tuesday night. Good night, everybody.